Okay, says we are live. What is up, everybody? Got people out here already. I see Ryan Borch just made it in. Thanks so much. I see Lyle, Catfish Weekly. I'm sure everybody here has already subscribed to Catfish and Panfish Weekly, but I'll say it again. I say it all the time. You'll learn something new every single week with Lyle and Patriot on Monday nights, Catfish Weekly, and now we've got Panfish Weekly on Thursdays at 9. So 2 nights. Well, you learn something new every night, but awesome job Lyle does, and with Patriot James and Mark from Catfish and Crappie. So we'll go right back up to the top. Country Boy Catfishing, Dan's Creations, thank you. Catfish Weekly, there's my brother Creo. Mark Clark, hello. Peace City, Smitty, great to see you out there. Thank you so much for all the support. Lynn, can't appreciate you enough, Lynn. Thank you so much. My brother Creo. Fishing with Big Mike. How you doing tonight? Congratulations, Big Mike, on that awesome job of winning that knot tying tournament. That was absolutely amazing. Who would have thought that would have been such an exciting, something we do all the time, tying knots. And who would have thought that would have been such an exciting event that you're literally on the edge of your seat, kind of, come on, let's do it. That was awesome job by Palmetto. And congratulations again to Big Mike. Avid Fisherman, thank you so much for being out there. Appreciate you. Thank you. Says we got 27 people up in here already. Sunfish Assassin, great to see you out there. Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing. Got Dave Kachar. Probably butchering that name, but eventually I'll get it right, I imagine. We're doing the whole doctor. Hello to everybody. Oh my God, Big Mike, I was pulling for Pete. Sorry. Wow. Wow, thank you so much, Great Outdoors. Really appreciate your support for a long time now. Thank you. And it's crazy. I say a long time. Becky Zimmerman, I think that's gosh, I can't remember your name. Please throw it out there. I know it's a younger fisherman using a mother's account. We got Mike Greenwell. There's Sharina, keeping it real. Started a new Facebook page, so y'all can go check that out. Elijah, yes, thank you. So when you see Becky Zimmerman, that is Elijah. He's a big supporter out there. I see him a lot on DMV's lives. So another young up and comer. So that's awesome. There's Mr. Michael Murillo. For those that haven't seen Mexicat's latest theatrical, comedic, a masterpiece. Y'all go check out Mexicat. Just an amazing job of what he does, putting some humor into our lives. I literally, when I watch his videos, when I watch Mexicat's videos, literally have to stop sometimes because I can't see anymore from laughing so hard. He does a great job. Willard Young, thank you. 36 awesome people. So we are hoping that we're supposed to have Miss Paula Smith. The introduction needs no introduction. She is not in yet, so I'm not sure. She's had a couple busy days. Outside with the haze says he totally agrees. Yeah, that there has to be a whole category in the I'm going to petition with Palmetto to start a whole new category in the golden whiskers just for the type of entertainment that Mexicat brings to us. We got the Bullock Experience. Thank you so much, Kelly, for coming in. Great job the other night, by the way. We had some technical difficulties and a little more than technical difficulties. I have apologize. I had a hot mic situation, so I know how that can happen now. We did a live the other night. I think it was Monday, and had some issues going on. I had some messages just boom, 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 and it messed up the audio, and it kind of aggravated me. And I thought my mic was down, and turned out it wasn't. So, but we left Bullock Experience up, and he did a great job of keeping going while I was rebooting the phone and getting the technical difficulties worked out. John Boy's Catfishing, thank you so much. There's Laura the Explorer. Thank you, Lori. Norm is in the house. Thank you. For those Catfish Head Hunters, Norm, y'all want to check, give a subscribe to him. I'm not sure what's happening with Paula yet. She has the link. I know she had Chris's daughter out yesterday, and she wanted to. We're actually going to do it last night because she wanted to come up and talk about fishing with Chris Flores' daughter, and because Roger Muskrat Adventures had that awesome premiere scheduled after his live, and so we just pushed it off till tonight. So, and then today Paula went out with her grandsons, and they did an awesome job out there catching some slicka, or oh my gosh, I can't think of it now. Skipjack, as it's known to the rest of us, to Creo, and that section of the country there, known as slicker, because basically that's what it puts up on the water, is a big slick of oil. There's what is his name right there? Fishing with somebody. Fishing with the huh. Oh, that's Fishing with the Chad. 47 wonderful people and watching. So awesome show that we just had by Patriot James. Slicker, baby. There you go. Awesome show we just had by Patriot James. What an awesome cause. Awesome. It'd be going to do everything I can to try to make it down to that tournament. Would love to meet everybody. And on top of that, just what an awesome cause. The veterans are just so important to this country. None of us would be able to do what we do without the veterans. So awesome, awesome organization that he's involved with. So, well, we've got 47 people watching. There's unbelievable. Thank you all so much for coming in. Like I said, I'm not sure what's up with Paula. I know she has had a couple busy days, and I don't think I finished with Catfish Head Hunters. We have Paula scheduled as guest on Saturday night on the Fishing Shack with Norman Stan on Catfish Head Hunters channel. So y'all go in there, and if you're not subbed them yet, I'm pretty sure everybody in here already is, but that's going to be an awesome, great show. There's LG Bass. Thank you for coming in. Now, there has been a yeah, I'm going to need to get another way to read chat, because apparently there's nothing gentle about my big fingers. And when I go back and re-listen to things, I keep hearing the tick, 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 tick. The chat goes so by on when you're doing StreamYard, you only get about 4 comments at a time. So sometimes it just you miss 8 things that were said. So you try to keep scrolling up to keep in contact with everybody. And then when you're technology challenged on top of it, there's my brother Skin and Scales Fishing, who put out a awesome video today. The topic of that video was, a couple of was an awesome channel. So if y'all want to check out Skin and Scales video that he put out today, did a great job there. Hooks and Hammock says it's the same way on Streamlabs. Yeah, you almost do, Sunfish. That's why it kind of works out good when I go fishing with Stand 3 on the weekend. Thank you, Skins. I kind of try to take care of the chat part of it, and I still catch my fish, but there's Catmandu Outdoors. All right. Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to it's almost quarter after, so I'm going to pop the link up there if anybody wants to come on up in, and we can chat about some things. If Paula shows up, we'll pull her up in. Not exactly sure what had happened. I know she was really excited. I've been talking to her between myself and Stan 3. I've been talking to her for a while about wanting to do this. So there's Tim Molina that made it up in. Okay, and there is the link if anybody wants to jump up. Frank H., thank you for coming in. Serving from my home. Great to see you out there. Thank you so much for all the support you give for everybody. Muskrat Adventures been totally killing out there. That's one of the things I'll bring it up. We'll talk about pretty quickly is bait size in the wintertime. There's the majority of people, it's wintertime, you downsize your baits. There's Ace Catfishing. How you doing tonight, Ace? Stephen Corley, thank you for coming in. But if you can tell from Roger's video, he did the premiere last night of where they caught the 37 fish. They had little bitty shad, little bitty chunks of bait, and that just slayed it that day. Green Machine, who's going to be the guest on Fishing with the Chad coming up this Thursday. He just put a video out about wintertime baits and cutting them down to size. It's something that I've always, and I think a lot of it, as I'm trying to learn some more things, a lot of it has to do with the metabolism, and they just can't handle eating such a big piece of bait. But I don't know. I have caught big fish in the colder weather with the bigger pieces of bait. But I think we're going to try doing a multi-size pieces and see what happens from there. Snake River Catfish Slayer. Pickled herring and wine sauce. Wait, I missed that one. Pickled herring and wine sauce at Walmart has been hooking sturgeon in Idaho. That is awesome. I have not heard of that before for sturgeon. Apparently, we have some sturgeon in the James River. That's a new thing, but pickled herring in wine sauce. I know chunk bait and night crawlers for sturgeon, but that's all right, Ryan Bortz. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. I apologize for the guests not showing up yet, but we'll see what's happening. But anyways, back to the baits. So in Roger's video, you saw where he had little shad and little pieces of bait, and that just totally killed it. And I've seen in a bunch of other videos where downsizing the bait, especially in this colder waters. Right now in the James, the water temp is in the upper 30s. It was just at about a little over 39 degrees the other day when we went out last Sunday morning, and we did manage to catch that one fish, and then it turned to rain and was just pouring rain. And there's nothing that I would rather have snow, sleet. When you get like 34-degree rain, that is just the absolute worst, because there's not a lot you can do about it anywhere. Did I hear something about trolls out there? Yeah, I'm not sure if Epic is available tonight or not. It is almost 20 after 9. If anybody else is out in the, I know I've spoke to a couple other people that had wanted to come up and talk catfish with us. You are more than welcome to. There is the link again. There's Mrs. Skin and Scales out there. Thank you very much. I'm trying to, there's Catfish Hunter. For those that don't know, Catfish Hunters, kind of relatively new coming into the community here with us. He had an issue with his boat last weekend. Fishing with Mike Chavez at the parking lot. Well, I hope you have a good night at work there, Mike. Thank you for listening on the way in. But those that don't know, where was he? Catfish Hunter had an issue with his boat, had it beached, had some strong winds, and had to leave it overnight. Was able to get back there the next day, get it pumped out, and got it back home. So good news for him. As I'm doing this, I'm trying to check on if I've gotten any messages, which for those that watch normally, those that watch on a regular basis know that I have an issue with talking and chewing gum at the same time. So doing the best I can with that. Okay. Sunfish Assassin says 30 degrees in the north and Midwest doesn't affect fish the same way as they do in Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. Which is true. I think, when you talk about temperatures, it's relative to what their normal. One of the things that I've been learning with Epic is you're talking about a comfort zone, and you know, so you get 30 degrees. You get 30 degrees in a certain let's say a state like Louisiana. That's really going to affect the fish more than say like New York, where the average temperature is 30 degrees. And let's see, we have somebody in the back that's going to jump up here and join us. Let me add him to the stream right now. Bam.
What's up?
There you are, my brother. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Hey, how's my audio sound?
Can anybody hear Creole out there, or is it my phone again?
Well, I want to make sure it's not my phone. This is a brand new phone. I've never done this before on this phone.
Okay. Not okay. Creole, I think it's actually my phone. So you were hearing Creole good. Okay, we're going to get Creole back up in. Let's see if that did it.
Okay, is it better now?
All right. Okay, Creole, I had the same issue the other night. I'm going to have to try to figure this out. Can you see chat?
No, I cannot see chat. Hang on a second. Like I said, this is a brand new
You can't see chat?
No, I can't see chat. Yeah, when I always go on with somebody else, I either can see you or I can see chat. I can't see both.
Apparently everybody can hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, all right.
So I'm gonna. Okay. What I need to do is it's on my side, so I have to reboot my phone. Apparently, it's usually the only thing that'll fix it.
Hey, look,
here we go again. I know, Dave. I apologize about this. It's been.
Are you using an external mic for your phone?
Yeah, I don't know why this is happening again.
If you're using an external mic on your phone, that's why you can't hear me.
So what I've got to do is I've just got to reboot. If y'all stay there, it'll come back. I'll come back up in a minute. I'm sorry about that.
Well, it looks like y'all are stuck with me for a little while. Let's see if I can get in my computer here and pull up chat. If it'll agree with me today. Let's see. Usually takes forever, this old slow internet I got over here. The joys of living in the middle of nowhere. No internet, no nothing. Let's see. If it'll pull it up on my phone. Oh, there we go. I see some chat now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, I was, Mr. Gadget, I was saying the same thing. When I use an external mic with my iPhone, I can't hear anything. Y'all can hear me good, but nobody else can hear. I didn't know what he was using. I don't know if he had an external mic or what. Let's see. Let this old computer try to fire up so I can see. Michael Marilla, what's for dinner? Man, I hate to disappoint you. I ate a bowl of Cheerios. I know that's not very Cajun of me, but I ate a bowl of Cheerios. I apologize for disappointing you on that. Yeah, I think Stan's gonna he's probably gonna jump out and come back in and try to fix the phone issues because man, I know. When am I fishing live next? An announcement may be made tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure. I don't want to give nothing away just yet. I'm gonna let the master of ceremonies make that announcement. But it'll be pretty soon. It will be pretty soon. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want I don't want to drop any spoilers on anybody. See, Lacey, you are responsible for this. You're responsible. You got me to get on here, so that's it. So if this whole thing goes down, oh, come on, computer. It's the Creole Catfishing Show. Lord help us all if that's the case. Lord help us. Roger, what's going on, baby? I'm just trying to hold down the fort until Stan gets back here. Come up with some catfish with Cheerios. No. We can't. No, I'm not gonna rule in a good bowl of Cheerios. Come on now, we can't do all that. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to. I'm not gonna drop any spoilers just yet. Let's see. From Louisiana, a kid on Fish Brain. Hey, if he lives somewhere near me, I'll let anybody come on my boat. I ain't particular at all, especially somebody young. I love to bring those kids fishing. It is awesome. Mark Clark, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I'll use chicken. All right, look, if it'll bite a hook, I ain't scared. I'll put it on a hook if it'll catch a catfish. I ain't particular at all. Now I rather fresh cut bait. I'll be honest, but let me tell you something. If I can't get good bait, that chicken's sure nice plan B. I can tell you that. Thomas, my preferred bait, because it works the best in my area, is cut slicker, which is what we call skipjack. By far the best all around, all year bait for us. Asian carp is actually becoming my second in line. I'm catching more and more fish on it, so it's working pretty good for me too. But it just depends on what we got going on. I'm probably one of the few areas that we will catch fish on slicker year round. It doesn't fall off on us in the winter like it does for some people. Like I know, like Roger and them, they'll switch. But for us, it doesn't really fall off. They'll bite on that year round.
Beautiful. Got you now. I got it.
I tried to hold down the fort for you.
I'm sorry for putting you on the spot like that. It's been beautiful. I've had no issues since I started doing this, and all of a sudden this week, that's the second time.
Mm-hmm.
It happened the other night, and I knew why it was the other night, because I got bombarded with like a bunch of texts and StreamYard. They don't like text or phone calls, so I tried to stop that.
Too.
I stopped that tonight by putting the do not disturb thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then but then somebody else says when you do that, that affects the audio. So, it's one of those danged if you do, danged if you don't kind of.
You can't. Yeah, it don't like to be interrupted. I can tell you that right now.
But so I apologize to everybody out there. Thank you, my brother, for keeping it going. I see we've got the wonderful Mrs. Laura DeFore out there in the audience watching us.
Living room. Living room.
Yeah, but for the rest of the country, we love having her up on the
8 feet from me. Oh no, she ain't gonna get on camera.
I can understand that. That's my wife. People know about my wife. My wife loves fishing. She just doesn't like being it too hot or too cold. So basically, she fishes April and October. That's
my wife will come with me. It doesn't matter how cold it is. That doesn't bother her. Now during the summer when it gets hot, nope, that ain't happening then. Yeah,
that's pretty much my wife. Which the cold, I would surprise, because I would think she'd be coming, because we used to live upstate New York, and she's from New York, and she's actually from the city, and I'm the country boy, so that's the whole typical city. And she loves the cold weather. We used to be out all the time ice fishing, and we're not going to get into that. We know the whole Creole ice fishing.
I love having fun with James Dockery with the ice fishing thing. I mean, I'm a little more open-minded than what I lead him to believe.
Of course.
He'll probably be able to talk me into it, but I ain't gonna lie. If I'm walking on that ice and hear it crack one time, nope.
Creole, when it's the first time you hear that, it's truly, and then you can see the crack going across. But the ice is like When you hear that, it's actually the best because that means the ice is actually freezing. It's actually expanding and there's no room for it.
I get it, but just the thought of, oh, it's cracking, that's a good thing.
I mean, I used to just sit there. That used to put me to sleep at night because we lived right on a lake in the Catskill Mountains. So I was 30 yards from the lake.
And you could hear it all night.
Oh, yeah. You could open that window. And when I say we lived in the middle of nowhere, the town we lived in, we lived on a 1-lane road, dirt road that ran down between our houses and the lake.
Yeah.
I don't think we had, as a matter of fact, no, we had no. There was no traffic light in the whole town. There was no, so it's up there, So I'm talking quiet and dark, and you hear this. It's almost like a cross between like thunder and a railroad, or it's just weird. You'd have to experience it for those that live by the ice and have heard that stuff.
Wow. Yeah. I know we don't hear nothing like that out here. I promise you. I mean, we might get, on average, we might get a few days a year, maybe a week that it's below freezing. That's about it. Most of the time, it'll hover right around freezing. I think this morning it was, I don't know, 38, 37, 38 this morning.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about this before. The last time I was down there, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But when we left New York, unfortunately, it was when my grandfather passed away. But we were coming down from New York to Louisiana for. He was still hanging on, and a whole nother story. But anyways, when we left New York, we left in the middle of a blizzard. It had already snowed almost 2 feet when we left to drive, and that so we came from 20-degree temperatures with the wind and 2 feet of snow. We get to Louisiana and it's I think it was 50, and they're coming out with the winter parkas. I popped out of the van with a shorts on and a tank top. I mean, it's February, and I'm like, this is awesome.
It's so weird for us because we've put the boat in and run down the river when the air temperature has been mid to low 30s. We're all bundled up, but we're gonna run. But it's so strange. I put in at the landing and it's 50, 51 degree water temperature. But that's in the Atchafalaya River. Well, we come down the Atchafalaya, then turn into that big channel that heads towards those dams that come off the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Turn and hit that channel. Immediately, it feels like the air temperature drops by 10 degrees because the water is colder coming out the Mississippi. When you hit that, you actually feel that cold air hitting you as soon as you turn down that channel, and everything gets colder.
Palmetto, no, that's something I'm still trying to get better at. When I get a guest, especially like my brother Creo up here, and I could just sit and talk to him for hours, and I get kind of blindfolds on, and
right now I can see chat now. And kind of our video is like kind of in the background.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so yeah, I can see them.
That's it takes time. People see the shows like Palmetto and Catfish Weekly. You see all these other shows where it goes off. They have a talk show and it goes off flawlessly.
Oh yeah, of course.
It is definitely not as easy. It is a talent. It takes time because you know how we feel about each other. You're my brother. I've said that from day one, and I'm Team Creole Catfishing all the way. So like we start talking, and I'm just like I'm talking, and that means no disrespect to the chat. But that's something that as I'm doing these lives that I have to get a lot better at.
You have to be able to talk and read at the same time.
Hey, and I'm a Cajun and Creole, so it's hard for us to do a couple things at the same time. We start talking, everybody. That's one thing that I think I got from my father, and you can attest to this, is that down there everybody is family.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so it's when you start talking to family, it's just, hey, you kind of get caught up in it.
Palmetto said he just wanted to come here to hear somebody imitate Paula, to try to talk like Paula.
Tennessee, she's a tough one. She's a tough one.
Capable of. No, I don't think I could do it. My wife could do it. There's no way.
Yeah, Paula's a tough one.
Paula kind of talks like this. I'm not even gonna try. Paula was so mad at me if she heard that.
Yeah, I was. She was supposed to. She was looking forward to coming up, so I hope that she's okay. She'd been talking with Stan 3 about some things, and but she'll be. We'll still get to see Paula this Saturday night on the Fishing Shack with Norman and myself.
Yep. See, look. He's being a bad influence. He's trying to.
Not Kevin. Palmetto would never do that. No.
Doing this.
But I was glad that you said that the other day when getting back to kind of the catfish in the water. When you said the water temperature in the Mississippi and whoa, he gone.
All right.
Oh,
all right. You still got me?
You're still there. You're still there.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now? All right. Can you hear me now?
Hang on. Hang on. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna come back. Give me a
Okay.
minute.
All right. We've got hey, this is what happens. This is where's realistic fishing when you need them, because this is now he can't hear me. Yeah. This is realistic live stream as it's at its best or worst, I guess. You be do one talking. We got Sharp Fishing out there. How you doing, Sharps? Thank you for coming in. Catfish Heroes. Appreciate you coming in tonight. There is Maurice out there also. Thank you, Maurice. We got 63 people watching. I apologize. I'm not sure what's up with I'm not sure what happened to Paula yet. But for those that are, we will definitely be speaking with Paula. You will get to see her this week. She's going to be our guest Saturday night on the Fishing Shack with Norman Stan. At 8 o'clock on Catfish Head Hunters channel. So if you're not subbed over there, that is where you can go find it. We do the Fishing Shack every Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Also, for those that are looking for a lot of fun this weekend, Palmetto Cats has the Whisker Bowl going on Saturday. So far, it is Palmetto one-ton fishing club, Timmy from Chesapeake Bay Catfishing, and 2 stands so far. I'm not sure if anybody else has joined yet, but we're doing the Whisker Bowl on Saturday morning from 8 to 1. Each of us are going to be fishing live on our own channels, and every fish you catch is a touchdown. When you release it, that's the extra point. A new sub for every channel. Every new sub is a field goal. Then there's also penalty points. Whereas when you go to cast, you cast the bait off the hook. You reel one in without. If you reel one in or line in without any bait on it, that's a penalty points. If you cast the bait off when you're casting, that is penalty points. I put the link back out there. I think, did it come up? Okay, there. The link is definitely there. Oh, in the meantime, we have another guest in the back. Oh, there you go. How you doing, Ace? And
Not bad. And you?
Whew. Man, tonight's not our night for technology, is it, Stan?
no. What did you touch a button too?
Look, this new phone is so sensitive. If I breathe on this thing too hard, it pushes buttons.
Yeah.
Hey, Cleo, how you doing?
Oh,
So we got Ace up here with us also now. He was nice enough to come up in with all the confusion going on.
yeah, I know, right?
I guess my rods aren't working out too good behind me, huh?
They're there, but it's got the Star Wars effect going on with it back there. So Creo, before you left out, you had said about the water temperature on the Mississippi, and I'm like, how the heck is the water temperature? Not thinking how far down from the north that comes.
Yep.
Then it makes totally sense.
Yep, it's bringing what it is. That river flows so fast that the water doesn't have time to warm up nearly as much by the time it gets to me. Because at the exact same point, the Mississippi right now is about at 44 degrees, but the Red River, which comes out of Texas and Oklahoma, is 54 degrees. They're 10 degrees difference from each other, but at the same latitude, let's say, and not very far from each other.
But it totally makes sense because they don't come down as far, which it's and it's funny that I've really started to reevaluate things, and with talking with Epic Catfish and how you gotta really even as scientific as he is, a lot of what he says is just keep it simple. And that's what's, you don't put the two together. You don't put simple and scientific together until you talk to him for a while. I know he's had some conversations with you and myself. And, it's just once you start putting pieces together, then you're kind of like, oh, that's why I do that, or that's why.
Yeah, Epic makes you realize that how much we overthink things, or we're not thinking the right direction. He really makes you kind of take a few steps back and say, wait, I was putting way too much thought into this, or I just went way off in left field.
There must be an adventure. Keep it simple, stupid. Yep, and that's I think that's what happens to a lot of us especially once you try to start going for when you try to start going to that next level. You're trying to go from 30s to 40s to 50s to whatever. You think, well, it's got to be more complicated, so I got to do this and this and this and this, and it's the opposite.
I know for me, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but I know for me, I tend to start overthinking things when I haven't caught a fish yet. Like if I'm having trouble getting on fish, I will start thinking and thinking and thinking, and before I know it, I've probably thought myself out of what probably was the right thing to do to get it. If I'm catching a few fish, it's fine. But man, if you've been a couple of hours and you ain't caught a fish yet, I know for me that's when I'll start. If I'm going to overthink it, that's when it's going to happen.
I'm laughing because yes, I totally agree, and even lately, we've been doing bank and boat and kayak, so you never know what we're doing. But even from the bank, y'all have seen me sit out there hours and hours, and I know it's futile, but it's like I'm not leaving till we get. But it's the wrong idea because it's not gonna.
It's just it's the wrong thing to do. But you convince yourself, okay, I've caught fish here before. Why?
Yes.
Here now, I think was it Dieter Melhorn that calls that fishing for ghosts?
It might be. It might be.
I'm the world's worst at that. Like
Yeah.
I have my spots that I've caught multiple 50-pounders in, but that was last year. You know, that don't mean anything now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you start getting science behind it and you start actually understanding it, then that's when it kind of like
Yeah.
That's when it kind of starts making sense. Like, oh yeah, duh. Why was I doing that?
Yep. See, look, Catfish Heroes said it. It's a great place for everybody to compare notes. You know, that's how we all get better, comparing notes.
Oh, sure, and that's exactly right. You know, even watching, I was watching. Oh, come on, Pete's Whiskers from South Africa this morning, and it was funny how you look at some of the similarities.
Yeah.
Like he catches the, I think the sharp tooth is what they have over there, and they're very similar to the flathead catfish that we have here. But you know, so there's similarities, but then there's differences too. And it's the same thing here. Your fish in the Mississippi, and well, even just for you, for example, your fish in the Mississippi are going to act differently than they do on the out shooting rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be differences between your separate spots, just because of the size of the Mississippi, the current in the Mississippi, the just how big of a river the Mississippi is. There's going to be little differences between what a blue does, say, in the Mississippi, as opposed to what's the other river that you normally fish?
The like let's say the Red River, because the Red River is very different than the Mississippi. You know, slower current. It's
right.
Every so often. You know, probably I think it's more similar to what the guys are used to, like on the Ohio River. For me down here, the dams and the slower current and everything.
Right. So that's one thing that, is even just across our own country, that there's, you learn your base, you listen to the base ideas of everybody, because the base ideas are going to be pretty much the same. And then those little nuances, the little things that you can do to put that into your own waters, that's what's going to help you start catching more of those bigger fish in your own waters.
Well, something that Tim said to me the other night really got me thinking. He said, a blue cat is going to behave like a blue cat behaves. They all behave the same no matter the body of water. What makes the difference is the environment.
The body of water.
It's the body of water that makes them, not necessarily makes them do different things, but they have to behave differently to be comfortable in that body of water. They're still going to have the same tendencies. They're going to still want the same things, but in a different body of water, that may mean they have to go different places, one versus the other, to be comfortable.
Yes, and this is Muskrat says it, and that was one of the biggest things that fish act on instinct. That was one of the biggest things from like the first talk that I had with Epic, that the catfish brain is only so big. It's instinct. Everything is survival.
Yeah. It's a bunch of light switches. When the feeding light switch is on, that's it. The feeding light switch is on. Then when the I want to be comfortable switch is on, okay, well, the feeding light switch goes off and the comfortable switch goes on. That's it. So it's amazing that you can take a very simple,
we were talking, we were getting back and forth with he's science, I'm math, and you can look at different things, and when you break it down to like really simple, because that's what it is, it's just simple simple formulas, I guess. They like a certain current, they like a certain depth, they like a certain structure, and when you can put that together in your own waters, it's just it's just
see, somebody and the chat was scrolling too fast. I don't remember who it was that commented it, but somebody made the comment that that's one of the hardest things that they have to do, is to try to find a spot to figure out where they're going to fish. something that I do, and like I said, that's just my way of doing things. I never go out knowing where I'm gonna fish because the river changes all the time. Hey, but what I do for me, the first things I figure out is where I'm not gonna fish. It's easier for me. It's easier because I've got 200 different places to pick from. If I start eliminating where I know I'm not going to catch a fish, then by the time I'm done with that, I'm narrowed down to maybe 4 or 5 different places, and then I've got it from there. That's the way I break it down.
And again, it's funny. You see me laughing. That's why a lot of times I don't post. We go fishing. Stan 3 and I go fishing every Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times y'all don't see the post till like that day because all week long we are sitting there. Okay, the water's doing this. The water's doing that. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go there. It's not until Sunday morning where we finally actually decide, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go. But it's funny that you're saying those same things because I don't know. I think I told you this. My wife, and she comes in the chats as D Smithy.
Yeah.
We were on, I don't remember which chat we were on finally together at like the same time. And she says, I always hear you calling Creel your brother. Are you sure he's not?
Yeah. I said that in one of the chats one time.
It was
false brother, something like that. Hey, it could be. You never know.
Hey, you never know.
My brother will pick on me like whenever I go pick him up at his house and we go fishing. He's like, "Hey, where are we going? Where are we going fishing?" I don't know yet. And we're in the truck on the road pulling the boat, and he's like, "Well, when you gonna decide?" Well, I get to the stop sign. When there's a certain stop sign at the end of the highway, I turn right to go to one set, right to one for Run River, turn left to go to the other river. When I'm stopped at that stop sign, that's usually when I make up my mind. Like, okay, well, all right, we're going this way.
Yeah, and I I'm on kind of the other side of that. My son is, I don't drive anymore and things like that. So my son is the one driving. So, the final decision, I've kind of passed it on down to Stan 3. He's kind of the driver of our bus. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'll put my input in all week long and we'll talk and do this and that. But yeah, we don't make the final decisions most of the time until after we've woke up Sunday morning. Look at the weather, look at this, look at the water levels, the tide, the blah, blah, blah.
Roger, I do the same thing. I have all the apps on my phone for all the river gauges. I've got 3 different rivers to watch the gauges for to know what it's doing. I watch that. I watch the weather. I watch the pressures. I watch everything. But you know how the weathermen are. They wrong 3 out of 5 times and somehow still keep their job. So when I wake up in the morning, I have this thing about feeling the air.
Yeah.
My back door, I just feel that air, and that starts setting my mind rolling about where I need to be. And I'll make one last check of the river gauges that morning because I'm looking for some big drops or big rises overnight. When I see what they did overnight, then I know what's up.
Yeah, and that's the only but a lot of us, we'll tell you the best time to go fishing is when you can. But that is the one thing about Stan 3 and I go out every Sunday morning. So it might not be the best conditions, but we still go out every Sunday morning and we try to pick.
He was sending me a text while I was in the chat. I'm like, I'll later. Hey, look, I figured he wouldn't be far away.
That's too funny. Yeah, I was speaking to him earlier.
I figured he'd be far away.
I had gotten a message from Paula.
Yeah, I hope everything's all right.
Yeah, so far it sounds that way. And I resent the link to her, so we'll see. And Ace Catfishing, I'm sorry I didn't I think I kind of, we've had our channel since like October,
Mm-hmm.
October-ish, and I've done lives and things like that, and I'm still new at this, so
Yeah.
I get kind of excited when I'm speaking to you. You're I think of you like my brother, and so I get kind of,
Same here, brother. Same here.
I put blinders on sometimes, and I don't really mean to do that, and I think I ended up doing that to Ace Catfishing, who tried to jump. He tried to jump up on when all the confusion was going to help out. So I really didn't mean to do that.
Poor Ace. Poor Ace. Oh Lord. And look, what is it? I don't know. It's been about a month now when we were supposed to do the thing with Hagen, and then Hagen's boat broke and did all that. Well, that's when Chad basically bullied me. Man, look, that's a lot of work to be, working the boat, fishing, doing all that. You got a live stream going on, keep up with chat. Man, I was exhausted when I finally ended that stream. Man, it's a lot. It really.
Yeah, I mean, just when we go out, just we do Stan 3 and I do the Sunday morning ones, and even just my part of it, where I mostly am the face and do the talking, and I catch the occasional fish and do this and that.
Full-time job.
Yeah, man, you get done with that on Sunday, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
whew. It's fun. I love it, but it's like, yeah, and something that I didn't understand is just, how should I say it? Because last year I'm a guy sitting on the couch. Nobody knew me. Nobody, knew you. But you go out there and you start doing these things, and people kind of are all of a sudden start knowing you, and you feel like, okay, I got to do this for them. I got to put a catfish in the boat. I got to, right?
Way, you especially live. It's one thing when you're going out there trying to film a video that you're going to edit. That's one thing. But man, when it's live, it's a whole different thing. We got lucky. We did ours. We caught a few fish. Ended up catching one nice one towards the end. But it was fun. When we got to that last spot, we were setting up. I think I was putting weights. I was changing my weights out because I was in that heavy current. I was putting all my big weights. And my son's at the front of the boat because I had my phone mounted on top of my center console. So he's in the front of the boat, just looking at the chat, just kind of, lollygagging and just kind of reading it. And he just kind of just like it was nothing. Just Steve Douglas wants to know where we fishing at.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and dude, if you go back and watch that live, you can hear it. I was holding
I did.
the deck of the boat.
I heard it right then and there because I understand.
I was like, who? And I thought somebody. Surely Steve Douglas is not watching me fish. Well, yeah, boy, that's when the nerves kicked in. And thank the good Lord we caught that 40-pounder not long after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nerves when anybody is watching you. And
yeah. It's like I get comfortable when it's the normal crowd. When it's the normal crowd, it doesn't bother me. It's like I'm just sitting there shooting the breeze with y'all. It's fine.
It's like it's just your friends. You're fishing with your friends, right?
Yeah.
I say that to Roger, to Muskrat all the time. Yes.
I'm fishing with my buddies. It's fine. But yeah, something like that comes up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, then the nerves kicking in.
Yeah, and if you got somebody else watching the screen that doesn't really know, Steve Douglas, Chris Flores,
recognized it at first. The two thoughts running through my mind were, one, please catch a fish. Number two, don't say anything stupid.
No, this is the exact opposite, Thomas. Y'all are our friends. That's that's the way I think of it. You're the ones that we're out fishing with every single week. We're out fishing with y'all every single week. And, it was just kind of like Sharina's when she did her first live. And then she started having those names that she didn't expect to actually come down.
Yep.
You kind of get you're just kind of like blown away. But you know, you feel comfortable. You feel the most comfortable among your friends. So
yeah, like because we are always, you know, talking with each other in chat. So I know for me, whenever I'm live, you know, it's like, hey, it's just a continuation of, you know, whatever the last conversation we had, you know. And really, I wouldn't be able to do these lives as often as I do them, because I'd be too nervous in front of complete strangers all the time. You know, there ain't no way I couldn't do it. My nerves would get the better of me.
Okay, and we have a guest backstage. Is our guest ready? Trying to give a second chance. Okay.
Let's see if I can.
Here we go. We're gonna pop the guest up on the stage.
Hey guys.
Boom!
It's you! Look at you!
Look at there.
Like,
Look at there, Paula. You came up. I got a surprise waiting for you. How do you like that?
I know it, my buddy. I've got a surprise for y'all too.
I hope you had the receipt for that surprise. You might want to return it.
No, I seen your face and I was like, oh my God, it's Creole. And my surprise for him, I said, that's Creole catfishing. I have, y'all got to overlook how I look because we've been out at Cumberland City at the steam plant today catching skipjacks. So we look like crap. But I have a company from Louisville, Kentucky, Richard Federley, a big fan of mine, great fisherman, and his girlfriend, she's also a huge fan of mine and great fisherman. So they've come down until Sunday to do some fishing, and they're here with me, so they're going to like squeeze in. Or when y'all have a question, y'all have to squeeze tighter.
Hello.
This is Stan, and this is Creole.
How you doing?
All right, I'll fly back around. If y'all get any questions from him, just ask and I'll whip it over.
Well, Stan, I'm going to tell Miss Paula hi. I'm going to let you have the show. I appreciate you.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where are you going?
I have an 8-year-old that I have to put to sleep.
Oh, well, you better get him into bed.
And he don't like
You,
All right.
you better go. Bye.
Hey,
Appreciate you, Creole.
hey, you see you better not talk bad about me in chat.
Did you?
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing bad about you in front of me. I'm gonna turn the volume up.
That is too funny because I feel the same way. Creole and I'm originally from Louisiana. That's originally.
Really?
So Creole and I, from the second he came on, he's always said I'm an honorary member of Team Creole Catfish, and so he's like, I think of him like my brother, so it's awesome. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Meet him.
Yeah, all of y'all are great guys. I was telling Richard and them about what a close-knit group everybody is right now, that like Steve Douglas and Chris Flores, Palomino Cats, they're all like backing all of us small-time people, and we're just like one big group. So it's awesome. So he's going to join everybody. I'm going to get him on everybody's YouTube and the chats and stuff, so you'll start seeing Richard Federley.
Yes.
Fetcherly.
Yeah, I always say it wrong.
I'm on Facebook also. Just look up Richard Federley, you'll see me. I'm in a Paula Smith shirt, actually.
I put him on. He come down back, last summer?
Yeah.
Last summer he come down and we went out, and about 3 o'clock in the morning he got on his personal best flathead. I almost pushed him out of the boat. Yeah.
Paula, I guess they're saying that coming out in chat, it's coming out a little bit loud.
Oh, okay. Well, let me turn it down then.
So
I'm probably screaming.
I do the same thing. I get so excited. I end up talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Creel that was awesome coming up and talking with us while you're waiting on you. So I saw you had some busy times this week.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy.
That's the only way
You had
turn it down on here. Just don't talk so loud.
I'm gonna get it from my end, okay?
that's not too bad. That's all right.
Well, I just kind of talked a little lower.
Well, there's the answer right there. Muskrat.
Yeah, you're just gotta talk a little lower.
You know Roger from Muskrat Adventure. He says Paula equals passion.
Oh, Roger, thank you so much.
There's his comment.
That is the truth. Everybody's saying hello to you out there. So you had Isabel.
Yes.
I saw some of that live.
Yeah, I couldn't get her on a fish. I mean, it was so hard. We could not drag a fish. I mean, it was almost, if I could have found a trot line or something, I'd have probably stowed a fish and hooked it up and just to show a fish. I mean, I was wanting her on a fish so bad.
Yeah, but that's what makes it catfish.
Yeah.
You go out there on those mornings. You got that wind. I heard you had like some ferocious winds.
Oh, it was
fish you possibly have. And someone even with as much knowledge about catfish as you do, there's sometimes you just can't catch a fish. It just happens.
Yeah, the water temperature, I got my notebook. Y'all have to read the comments because I don't have my glasses on. The water temperature was 27 degrees when I got there. Cast net, trying to catch some fresh bait. You pull the net out and it was solid ice. It was like, oh me. No, I had frozen bait, but I wanted fresh bait. And then when they showed up, I had told her, y'all dress warm because it's going to be cold. And I knew it was going to be pretty windy. And when they pulled up, I thought, oh my God, they're going to freeze to death because they was like in jogging pants and this little shirt, and I was layered down with coveralls and everything else. But we had a great
Heard that
the wind was.
Go ahead.
The wind was brutal, and then on the Cumberland River, it's really narrow. And if you get a barge on the Cumberland River, especially, we got a barge right off the bat, and it was loaded down. There's probably 6 inches left out. It was loaded down, and I knew that if I didn't get that anchor pulled up and at least get to where I was in control of that boat, because then that barge wave on the Tennessee River, you can ride it out because it's got somewhere to spread. On the Cumberland River, it's going to bounce back and forth. I mean, it was probably 6, 7, 8 foot swells for a good few minutes, and I knew if one of them waves was coming at the nose and I went up, the next one was going to take us down. So I kind of rode them sideways, I'd roll with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was pretty interesting event. We had a blast. We laughed. We talked. I mean, to sit around with 3 20-year-olds, it was a blast.
And I know that's one of your big things is introducing younger people. And Isabel isn't exactly introduced. She's been with catfishing forever. But to see someone like her to keep going and keep doing, maturing with catfish, and that's awesome. I know that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, Chris Flores has done an excellent job. She is the most well-mannered. I mean, she's a great person. I've met a new friend. She wants to come to the farm and go hiking and just camping and stuff. So she's a great person. He did good.
For anybody that's watching live, we saw that she had those dimples going, and she was just and yet she was a trooper out there freezing and just wanting to catch that fish. So my granddaughter's younger than that, but it kind of reminds me of the same thing. My granddaughter's 11, Little Smith, Maddie. She'll be out there a trooper with that same thing, just waiting for that hole to bend, and she can't wait for that bite to come in. So I'm with you as far as that's our next generation. That's the generation's coming up. That's where we all need to focus a lot.
Yeah, and I thought I had to carry my grandsons to meet their mom today and this afternoon about 5 o'clock. And I was thinking on the way home, I was thinking, you know what? If I accomplish anything else from here on out, of course, I'm going to continue to fish, but my main goal is to drag the youth in, because if my grandsons, they're going to grow up to be great men. They're going to know, just like I went live after we got in the truck, and Roger, in fact, said, great job, boys. And I told him, I said, Roger Dimmitt Jr. said, great job. What are you supposed to say? And both of them screamed out, thank you. I didn't have to say thank you. They're going to be great people because they're going to be raised right. And they love fishing. We had to flip a coin while we were waiting on their mom because this summer on the local tournaments, I'm going to take one grandson at a time, not both, because I'd be jumping out of the boat and to the bank. But, and then they wanted to fight about who was going first. I said, all right, we're just going to make it fair and square. We're going to flip a coin. Somebody's got to call heads or tails. And the least one won. I thought it was going to be a fight over that. But you're going to start seeing them in that tournaments with me. I'm going to one at a time, but they love it.
That is awesome, Paula. And one thing I want to talk about, I've been kind of going through the channel back and forth on the channel. I know one of the things that's very important to you, it's very important to me, is catfish conservation. Taking care of those catfish for the next generations, catch, photo, release, talking with people in each state as far as what they can do to help promote regulations that help protect catfish. That's something that's very important to me. I saw one of your videos, I think it was the one, I don't remember if you were doing I think it might have been the radio interview where you said it was 7 to 8 years before the catfish can reproduce. And the growth rate that it's, by the time they hit 30 inches, it's almost 10 years. So if you take a 30-inch fish home, you just took 10 years of growth out of the river.
Right. I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm famous for what comes in here comes straight out here. There recently was a post. I don't know if you've seen it. It was somewhere in Alabama. The University of Auburn was doing a study. They had a hoop net out for, I believe it was for Asian carp. Well, everybody chimed in about how wrong it was and this and that. And, I'm not trying to make anybody mad. The only way that you're going to get your commissioners, your legislation, anybody, you're going to have to sit down and come to a happy medium. You can't get on social media or you can't call them and, I'm going to cut your nets because believe you me, I'm famous for that too. But you cannot get nothing done by going in loudmouth and demanding something. You sit down, you tell them what you would like to see. You even include the commercial fishermen, meet at a happy medium. Something's got to change or your grandkids and my grandkids are not going to have what we have. They're not. It's not going to be there.
Well, the one thing that everybody can do is the one thing that everybody does have control over is their own action. So if we can learn, catfish conservation ourselves, how to release the fish, how to take care of them properly before you release them, just trying to promote that kind of CPR attitude, promote how important catfish are. And that's not saying don't take, it's important to harvest some catfish. But you get those
Yeah.
20 years, right?
Do what now?
I was saying you get those. It's important to harvest some of those. 3 to 10 pounders, 3 to 5 pounders, and whatnot. Harvest them. Go ahead, eat those. But you get that 20-pound catfish. Put that.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Stan, there is so much. I'm trying to look for something right here that I'm sure and everybody else knows that my husband has been was asked to join the ACA Conservation Committee, and he accepted. And
awesome.
And I'm going to tell you about my husband. That you don't see him on Facebook or you don't see him on these lives, but Ken is. He's not going to tell the ACA or you or me what we want to hear. He's going to tell you the truth. And, I don't know how I got so fortunate to, find Ken Smith, but he's been a godsend, and he has taught me a lot when it comes to conservation. The other day we were discussing, of course, Ken's like sitting down with a scientist and he can say stuff and you're sitting over thinking, what are you talking about? But he gets you so involved that when he goes to bed, you're like, well, I can't go to bed. I'm fixing to have to go research what he was talking about. And then you get so deep into it. When he gets up the next morning, you're in here still researching. But that's a good thing. He said something about, I told him about regulations in our state is
right.
People love Tennessee's regulations. Well, they're not good enough for me. 34 inches is a good catfish. So instead of the commercial fishermen killing that fish, why not release that fish? And of course there's going to be some slip through the hoop or whatever, but instead of them being allowed to catch 134, but they have to kill it, why not tell them to release it? Why kill it? It doesn't just go to the commercial fishermen, the fish house that's buying the fish. They shouldn't be allowed to accept a fish from 34 inches. And then you've got your restaurants. They don't even know that they're buying a fish that's over a weight that is a consumption advisory. So, everybody's got to come together, with all these facts, not just what you think might be right. You've got to get facts, and then you got to sit down and discuss it, not yell and fight and fuss. Discuss it and come to a happy medium for the best involved. And the only thing that's important is the fish. That's what's important, saving those fish. It's just wrong.
I couldn't agree more. Every Sunday morning, my son and I stand tree. We go out fishing, and one thing that I've noticed and I'm really happy about is a lot of the chat is focused around conservation of the catfish. And I know just this month in January alone, we've caught multiple fish, 30 pounders, 40 pounders that have been.
Congratulations. I'm so glad somebody is.
But they've been previously caught. To catch it again, it just shows what CPR does, what that does. You take care of that catfish, you catch it, you release it properly, they will be there. They'll keep growing. They'll get health. It's a healthy population. So, I won't go too much into that, but
I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I went fishing with Steve Douglas this past summer, Kim was with me, and when I release a fish, say from my boat, I just try to get it down there. And of course, now I'll probably drop it in a boat when I'm holding it. I drop them every time. I don't mean to, but they jump and it, twist or something. But I try to release them as easy as I can. So Steve's boat is higher up than mine. So I was going to he got the best blooper of anybody in the world. I was going to lean over the side and just try to put this. It was 30-something pound blue cat, and I wanted to just ease him in the water. Well, I kind of teeter-tottered, and I was tottering on into the water, and Lisa was filming, and all I could hear was Steve and Lisa and Kim was just dying laughing, but all I could think about, because they grabbed my legs to catch me, I thought, oh my God, Steve Douglas has grabbed my legs and I ain't shaved them. But, it's just, I don't like to just throw them in the water. That's cruel.
Yep, and a lot of times.
Yeah, because I've always wondered how if a fisherman can sell the fish from the water.
Do what?
I was going to say, especially if you've caught a fish from deeper water, if you've caught a fish from deeper water and you're going to release it and you see it start turning on the side, you know that it's got some air still in there that you've got to burp. So the more careful, you can tend to see what's going to happen to that fish as you release it. There may be some other things you can do before you let it go.
Right.
I cannot stand it. Almost makes me. I try not to have an opinion in certain things that might be bad for me and my fishing. I can't stand to see somebody holding a big fish through the gills. That's almost as bad as TVA and arsenic, and I promise you, I've got the papers here. I have studied. Conservation is not just the commercial fishermen; it's the industries that's pollution. I've got one study where TVA's in Memphis is the 6th in the nation to have the most arsenic levels in the water. Well, Memphis is what? Mississippi River. I mean, a lot of people don't know this. Some reason I know it's because Ken will spark a conversation, and then I'm up for 2 or 3 days trying to figure it out. But right now I'm in the process of going to each state and getting each state's regulations for us as anglers, and also their commercial fishermen regulations. When you get all and especially the most important states, the most popular fish states, when you get all this data together and come to sit down with your board, safe Ken and whoever, they've got all this data in front of them, then they're going to come up with a happy medium that's going to keep the commercial fishermen happy, because they got to make a living too. Sure. It's going to definitely make us happy, and it's going to be better for our waterways. Then we can get something done, but you can't just, okay, well, Tennessee, I'm going to change Tennessee. Let's change it all. Let's get everybody on the same page, because our waters are just as important as your waters.
Paula, that's something that I've called for the last time. For the average person, and I think this is something that, maybe Ken can kind of understand. For the average person out there, sometimes you go try to start reading regulation books. You almost need a law degree to understand what you're supposed to do. Oh, yeah.
Right, but if you go to each state's resource agency, it's public knowledge what that law, what say that regulation is. They've got that code number, and you think, oh my God, what's that? You can look that up. It is public knowledge. You can call each state and talk to an officer in each state, and they have to tell you, because you want to know, because we're paying their.
My question with that, Paul, like I said, some of the language involved with that, so it's encumbersome. Some of it is, I've heard you say about using the big words and things like that. Is the law uses so many big words that a lot of the average guys that are just going out there bank fishing have no clue what the law is trying to say, because they can't understand it. If they would simplify. Right,
and
go ahead.
Right, and hey, I don't understand a lot either, so there's nothing wrong with anybody not understanding, because I did not go to college for wildlife or game wardening or whatever. Ken could say some word. He'll tell you what the real name of a bass is, and I'm like, what? It's a freaking bass. It's a big mouse bass or a creek bass, or, but with that being said, we're not done. We're all intelligent. I say it in my words. In order to find it, you have to research it. And like there's these comments are saying like the resource agency knows it about the consumption. They do. So let's hold them accountable.
It was just up there.
Let's hold them accountable, because if it states, I did an article several months ago, or maybe close to a year ago, they recommend in the state of Tennessee, this is from my state, they recommend that pregnant women do not eat a fish over 10 pounds. Now, what's that tell you? That's pretty serious business. So let's hold them accountable. Instead of just talking about it to Tom, Dick, and Harry, or get on social media and I can't stand them. Let's get together, write down what you want, send it to send it to Ken, send it to me. We'll send it somewhere. That's the only way we're going to get off the ground, because we got to come together and quit dividing on all this. Don't get on social media and say, they don't. Everybody knows and they're not doing nothing. Okay, maybe they're not. So let us do it. We'll do it. You do it. You.
I'm right there.
Well, there's a will. There's a way. There's a will. There's a way.
The ACA, from what I've been reading and looking into, and I love that they have an actual conservation department, or where they're trying to, it seems like they are trying to focus more on protecting the catfish. Is that what you're seeing with the ACA from what you've known?
Oh, you're trying to put me on a spot.
No, I'm not trying to put you on a spot. I'm glad that from what I've heard and what I've seen, ACA is it seems like that's one of the big things that they're trying to do, is come into that spot to kind of help the catfish as a whole.
Okay. Now this is my opinion. Okay, this is when Ken accepted the position, I broke mad, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first got into the monster catfishing and so forth, I got a lot of hate mail. I still get a lot of hate mail. A lot of comments. Lost a lot of friends, even locally. That the only reason I caught fish was because my husband was a game warden. Just some of the awfulest stuff you could ever come up with. But you know what? I don't care what people say. I know the truth. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And the reason I got mad at him over the ACA was I come home and, he told me about it. And I broke mad. I said, Ken, you have cut me off at the kneecaps. I just dug out of having to follow in behind your footsteps for being the game warden. And now you're the ACA's,
conservation.
Right. And, here we go again. If I win a big tournament, there's going to be people send me hate mail or whatnot saying, well, if your husband, the only reason she won is because they smudged the weight and, because her husband's on the commission. So I took my foot and how you'll draw a line when you're going to get in a fight or something, little kids. I took my foot and I drew a line across the living room and I said, Ken, I don't want to know nothing about the ACA, and don't you ask me nothing about catfishing. We you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be labeled as Ken Smith's, I'm Paula Smith. I'm a person. But the ACA, here's my opinion on the ACA. A lot of people are bashing it. A lot of people are, going against it. It costs $50 to join for a year. I blow $50, in a year, or you know what I'm saying? It's $50. We're going to blow it somewhere. Give it a try. In a year, if you don't like it, don't rejoin. But give it a try, because at least somebody's trying to do something that, you know, we can go to these people with what I just got through talking about. Get your data together. Write it down, what you want changed, what you want to see different. That's what they're for. And I promise you, if they're not doing it, Ken will know it. I'll let him know how I feel. You know, when I'm passionate about something, that's it. You know, I'm passionate about it. But I think the ACA, I'm going to give them a chance. And I can tell you this, for those of you that don't know Ken, and for those of you that do, this I promise you, he's not going to tell them what they want to hear or what they want him to say. He's going to tell them what he has to say. And if they don't like it, well, that's just going to be tough, because Ken is an honest man. So if everybody could give him a chance, because Ken wouldn't have done it. You know, he wouldn't have accepted that position if there was anything crooked or wrong, or because he won't go against it. I mean, my God, he wrote me a ticket for killing the snake. He's honest.
And I think as catfishing people, we all can, the majority of people that we come in contact with in our little family here, we're all on the same page with that. We have the catfish. You know, our most important thing is that catfish that we love to go out and catch, and we want to take care of that. And so I didn't mean to put you on the spot with the ACA.
No, well, you didn't. You did, and I was just joking. I can't be put on the spot.
I'm hopeful because this is the things that I've read about it. That's some of the things that they're going to try to do is help with the catfish conservation and getting that message out to the anglers and the states and the legislatures that can try to change these. You know, it's crazy that there's regulations where if you're here, it's one regulation, and you go 10 feet down the river and there's another regulation there. That's absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, mind-boggling. That's why I'm pulling, because Ken's busy right now, getting cows, feeding cows. Wintertime, you got to feed them so much, and we're getting them up for sale. So I'm on the inside until I go back to work this spring. That's why I'm getting the regulations for every state. I'm starting out with the most popular states, but I'm going to get every state in the United States, the regulations for us and the regulations for commercial fishermen. Because like you said, if you're on the Mississippi River and you're on the bank over here, you got certain regulations. If you cross the river, it's a completely different story. It needs to be where we can understand it. It don't need to be where the ones that went to college for it can understand it. We're the anglers. We need to understand it. So, Kim will talk it that way where we can understand it. And I'm not saying that we're ignorant or dumb or we're stupid, It's just that I'm a country person. I just, I don't hear that mumbo jumbo stuff. Talk to me like I talk.
Amen, Paul. I'm right with you. I understand.
We're equal. We're all equal. And a lot of people have contacted me and said that they were iffy and up in the air about the ACA, but when they heard that they had chosen Ken, that they were going with it, But Ken's honest. He's honest as the day is long. And when he retired, I told him, or right before he retired, I said, when you retire, the day you retire, because I deer hunt too, I said, I'm going to call the co-op and tell them to bring me a fertilizer truck full of corn, and I'm going to pour it out underneath my stand and sit on it. And he said, I was just joking, but he said, well, I'll just have to call the officer that takes my place. I was like, oh my God, he really would. He just don't. He's passionate about the wildlife, not just fishing, everything. Birds. If a bird flies and hits the screen door, the storm door, he's out there like giving it CPR and surgery and all that good stuff. But I'm just kidding.
But no, I think a lot of us a lot of time as fishing people, outdoor people, people that hunt, people that that aren't in that outdoors or don't have our same beliefs, think that we're just we hate animals, and that it's the exact opposite. We have more concern. I will stop my car. I would get out and run across the highway to save an animal that's in distress. But yeah, I'll go out every fall and I'll hunt, and but
you're not killing just for the killing part. Are you killing for food?
Oh, I'll eat it.
I mean, right, but like he tries to tell my son. My son is he's as passionate about deer hunting, but he's archery. He only archery all through the years. It's archery. He spends more money on his bow and arrows than we almost do our boats. But that's his passion, so I back him on it. He's teaching his sons the same thing. Before I married Ken, I ain't gonna lie, I've been out and shot through the window before, but statute of limitations out on that. But once I married Ken and we got to listen to him talk and just being around him, my son started being a better conservationist. Now he's teaching his sons. So it takes somebody like Ken to not necessarily teach us if we just listen. I mean, you can sit down with Ken and just listen to what he says, and he explains it in a way that I understand it. Y'all may, I understand it, and I'm about as dumb as a rock. I went to college for a whole different thing.
I couldn't agree with you more. We try to do that. Epic Catfish has been out there, and he does a lot of those same things, trying to break it down very simple. And when you start, that's the most important thing I think is as an outdoor person you can do is try to start just think. When you start thinking, you start wanting to research things. You start wanting to know more. Exactly. Yeah, and you're constantly like trying to find something.
Get off them cell phones, because we're all going to go blind. They're too little. And get on these laptops and the big screen computers, because we can't, this is too much. But now, I'm going to give you for instance, when me and my grandsons, one's 5 and one is 9. Hayden is 9. He caught a striper. And I knew it was legal length and we could keep it. But I said, Hayden, we're not going to use this fish for bait and we're not going to eat it. So what do you think you should do with it? We should release it. And he did. I mean, he actually did. I mean, he learned a lot today. I was so proud of him. And I said, I'm going to let you release him. And that was the big thing. And he carried it over there. Instead of chunking it in the water, he bent down and he got his hands wet in cold water. He's 9 years old. That just melts my heart.
Weren't you so proud?
Today was a very...
Yeah,
and if we start teaching our children, and they can teach their children. Of course, I'm a little older than everybody, but I'm seeing that trickle down work, because my son has turned into, he's the one that will stop in the middle of the road and help something in distress. His sons are starting to pick up on it. If we all get on that page, we're gonna leave a beautiful, wonderful world for these kids, and they need it.
Right. I think this, people like us that you're out here in the catfish community. It's just amazing what even just one voice. You're talking to how many people all the time, and they go out and they just start. To me, that's just it's amazing I was a guy sitting on my couch. I was a guy sitting on my couch, 6 months ago. Now here I am talking to Paula Smith about how to help.
Oh, don't. I'm just a girl from Tennessee that loves to fish. I've got a passion for fishing, and I'm going to tell you, my passion is drug addiction is nothing to what my passion for fishing is, and it's like, I got to get a fish. If I don't get on a fish, I may stop breathing. It's serious. But not only do I have a passion for fishing, I have a passion for anything but snakes. I don't like snakes. But, and it's so humbling for people. Just say, when you say, I'm talking to the Paula Smith, that just almost makes me want to cry, because I'm no better than you. Me and you are equal, and that I appreciate it so much, because I have fought all my life, because I was raised with brothers, and I had a son, and I'm the only girl that's been around in this family for all my life, and it's so humbling to be appreciated like people appreciate me. Y'all, I may cry, but I appreciate it. But I'm just as equal as y'all.
I didn't mean to do that today.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I truly appreciate it. I do.
And if you were to put some of your, like I saw the seminar that you did. I can't remember it was one of the most recent ones. I can't remember the lady you did it with, but it was just an awesome seminar. It didn't matter if you were a kid, a man, a woman. You could have sat there and watched that seminar and learned something. It had nothing to do with.
I was so nervous at that seminar, but it is. How in life, so and so drives a better car, or so and so's got more money. When you're in school, you got your in clique, and then you got your middle clique, your out clique. You know what? We're all equal. We may not, you may be at a point in your life you don't realize it yet, but we are all equal. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much money you think I make. I don't make nothing. Game wardens don't make nowhere near what people think they make. What I have, I work for, because my parents taught me you got to work for what you have. Do I go out and eat every day? Nope. I grow a garden. I love it. I go walking. I live in the country. I am blessed to be able to live in the country. I can walk outside. I'm on a dead-end road. When we go fishing, not only am I fishing, I am looking at the eagle sitting in the tree that my husband got started back in this state. I've got a bird feeder in the front yard that every morning he goes out there and he puts bird seed on it, and I didn't know one bird from another,
Right.
I know all kinds of birds, and they're beautiful. If you ever just sit and look at, God created these birds. They are like they are hand painted. They're perfect. But if everybody would just start slowing down, because this world is going so fast, if we'll slow down and appreciate what's around us, we'll get this. We'll get it right. We'll get it right for our kids, our grandkids, and the waters will be clean. The fish will be there. The birds will be there. Everything will be there for our children.
Well, Paula, the thing you said that you were humble about. I don't know if you can see that comment right there. That's by Roger. Muskrat.
No, I'm not.
She said she eats, sleeps, and breathes catfish.
Roger, if you don't get down here this year, I'm deleting you. Roger is, I think the world of Roger. Roger's a good guy. Roger's one of the good guys. He loves it too.
Yeah, and you got Epic Catfish. I need to feed my big catfish addiction. There's so many people in our family. And
you are so right, Epic. I mean, it's like, and it's not necessarily like when when my pole goes down, it don't matter to me if it's 5 pounds, 10. Well, I mean, I'd like to see 100 pounds, but if it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatnot, I'm just like, oh boy, I got a fish. I just cannot wait for that feeling, for that pole to go down. It's getting on that. I'm gonna tell you, it's not just the fishing; it's getting in that boat and going up that river or down that river. The color of that water, trying to figure out where these fish I mean, if you ever get to where I'm at right now, I mean, I don't know, don't nobody go this far because it's like I probably need to be in a mental institution. It's like, I carry a journal. I've tried to narrow down, just like everybody's heard me talk about the Duck River. For 2 years, 3 years actually, we've been under a flood. Just pretty much this time of year, we've been under a flood. I haven't seen the Duck River, the color it is, in 2 years. It's perfect. It's like the perfect storm is happening. Sunday, we're fixing to get a huge nosedive in our temperatures, which I need, because I need the Tennessee River to drop. I've researched this for 3 years, and this is what my conclusion I've come up with. If that Tennessee River drops to 40 degrees or less, all my fish on the Tennessee River is going up the Duck River, because the Duck River is mostly spring fed, and it's not as big, it's not as wide, it's just a river, and it's going to be 4 degrees warmer. So where's them catfish going to be? Up the Duck River. So I'm waiting for that code snap.
And Paula, you're a great company because there's some of us out there that actually call each other and talk about this stuff. We chat about this stuff.
Yeah.
That's why there's still people here at 11 o'clock at night listening to us talk.
It's not 11 o'clock at night.
It's almost.
It might be 11 o'clock where you're at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, some nights I'm watching lives and I'm thinking, man, I wonder. It wouldn't. 2 or 3 days ago, I was going to get on Facebook and say, who's up right now? Let's talk catfishing. It's like, I don't know, and it gets. It's a good thing, because and as much as it's growing in my mind and my heart, it's a good thing. It's unexplainable.
It absolutely is. And the one thing there's a couple things. Number one, all of us have the catfish as our number one. That's our, not necessarily catfish, but nature in general. The condition of the river, the condition of the waters, the condition of the shore along the waters, pollution, et cetera, et cetera. We all think about all that stuff because it betters the whole environment. And, that's a whole nother subject, whatever, but we all think about all that stuff. And then we think about, how we're going to make that catfish.
Better, Roger.
How to make that catfish better. Now, what did we do wrong the last time we went out and didn't catch one? And how do we go from catching 30s up to 40s or 50s? Or, there's some of us out there that are chasing 100. So how do you keep going and making those catches? It's.
Me and Ken, I'll always say, Ken, what do you think the biggest catfish? I mean, I know you can't, just say, well, I know that the biggest catfish on the Tennessee River is, in my area, is 190 pounds. He don't know that, but he said that his answer to me was that you're probably not going to get one no bigger than 130 in my area. Well, guess what I'm after? 135.
Yeah.
And now I've got to figure out where he's at, how I'm going to hunt him down, how I'm going to catch him, how I'm going to hold him. I think everything through, everything. It is by far, other than having my child, my grandchildren, my husband and mother with me, the best thing on this earth besides God. But you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
and we've got to save them. We've got to do something.
And that's, you know, you're in good company. That's why everybody loves you so much out here in our catfish family. You know, because we are similar minded with those same type of feelings. You know, we, like I said, there's multiples of us that are out there talking to each other about how do we do this and what can we do for that. And, you know, so I think that, you know, some of your drive is kind of wearing off out to everybody else.
I appreciate that.
It doesn't matter, male, female, child. You know, we all have that same. We want to see that next generation come in, whether it be male, female. It doesn't matter.
Right. I was asked. I was born and raised in the county over, which is Perry County, and I've lived in Humphreys County the majority. My grandparents were in Humphreys County, so I've been in both. But I was asked not too long ago by the tourist department for Perry County if I would get involved in like the fishing rodeo for that county this year, which I already do for this county because I try to help my kids, my grandkids. I call them my kids, but I'm going to try to do both this year to try to get more people to bring their kids. It's free. It's free fishing day. That every child walks away with a prize. They do a drawing, and one of them will win a bicycle age group, another win a bicycle, another age group, and they also win trophies. My oldest grandson has won two. The very first year that I put my grandson in it, of course, Kim was the game warden. There's usually one of the TWR agents there because it's, you know, TWRA puts it on. And they put all the kids' name in the jar, you know, and Hayden's out there, and it's been several years ago, the first one he went to, and he fishes and he's caught fish, and he'd run, put his little bluegill in his bag, and he'd run over there for him to weigh it, and then he got bored and started playing with the worms, you know. But at the end, Ken reached in the jar for the drawing, and he pulls out Hayden, Lane, Kathy, and I thought, oh my God, everybody's going to think this is rigged because that's his grandson. But it wasn't rigged. He just got lucky. But he's caught. Last year, he won a trophy for catching the biggest fish, and then my 5-year-old grandson, which was 4 at the time, he won a rod and reel for catching the most fish. They rub off because I babysit them a lot, so they're going fishing, like it or lump it.
Well,
you know, it's awesome.
From what I saw today, they love it.
Yeah, they love it. Jace got a little bored today, but Hayden hung with it, and he showed me today, because I didn't say you're gonna tie your own rig today. The first time he hung up, I showed him how to break it loose, easy, not struggling. You know, you got to do it quick and fast. And he got a little frustrated, and I said, Hayden, everybody out here from your age to the oldest person out here has hung up today or will hang up today. So you got to have some patience.
Yep.
If you lose your jig, you can always go buy another one. That's why you got a tackle box full of them down there. That's the way it works. You know, you get hung up, you lose some, you win some. So have some patience. And I seen him just kind of walk off. He bent down, he started tying up his rig, and I was like, oh my God, because I've never seen him do it. You know, last year he was doing his own hooking and unhooking, but this year he tied his own rig, and I thought, well, you know, I'm not going to check it because he probably didn't tie it tight enough. He's probably going to cast out and it just fly off, but at least I'm not going to step in because he's taking that step on his own, so I'm not going to make him, degrade him, you know what I mean, downsize it. I said, Hayden, I am so proud of you. You have really showed me a lot today. And then later on, he'd say, Nana, let's do well, I'm fishing with you. I said, what do you mean you're fishing with me? You're fishing with me right now. And he said, no, well, you fish, and when you catch one, I reel it in. Okay, you know, and I went along with that. And then they get bored with that, and he'd go to casting out again. But you got to have patience with them. You got to have some patience with them, just like they have to have patience.
That is exactly true. And we got oh, there's your buddy. Muddy River Catfishing is in the house. There's Chris Flores.
Well, what time is it at Chris's house?
Let's see, 11 o'clock here in Eastern time. So that's got to be 8 o'clock, I think.
Oh, well, he ain't even got started getting sleepy. See, it's not late for me either. My day's probably, I'm the world's worst with the sleeping habits because I'm on this, I carried the grandkids skipjacking on their first skipjack run today. Well, I've got to do some research on something somewhere. We were walking across the walkway, and you know how at steam plants they have these, I don't know, some kind of mesh that they run across the water to catch that nasty crud floating around. I said, Hayden, you see that right there? That's what's in our air right now. That smoke coming out of that stack is what's in our air right now. I said, but people have to make a living, you know, so we got to figure this out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll be researching for the rest of my life.
Well, and I think that's what keeps things, you know, the time that you stop trying to learn something, you might as well just give up, because that's, you know, that's what, doing that next thing and looking for the next thing. And, you know, that's just my opinion, but we got Fin Seeker TV. There's another one out there fishing with his son, Braden. I don't know if you're familiar with Fin Seeker TV. I'm sure you are, Paula. They kill it out there. And I love seeing the way that what I like about Finn from Fin Seeker TV is that when he does the videos and whatnot, and when he anchors off on a spot, he'll try to say where he's casting and why he's in that spot and different things like that. You know, that's even for bank fishermen, you can use that information, because you can kind of pick your bank spots based on, you know, the same things that boat fishermen are looking for. We just don't, you know, if you're a bank fisherman, you don't have as many opportunities as you do, because the boat, you can go anywhere. There's only so many spots to fish from the bank, but you can always learn and say, okay, well, I always go to this one bank spot and never catch anything. I go to this other one and I catch fish there. Well, what's the difference between the two? Is it depth, current, structure?
That's
bait?
exactly what it is. That's the difference. It's because so what if you're bank fishing? That you still got a whole set of rules and things that you're going to have to research, figure out, and you're going to pull in some monsters too. Hey, I bank fish too. You know, I was on a bank today.
You know,
when I'm fishing, sometimes I'm thinking, I wonder if people realize that, you know, I might not have pulled a big fish in a few minutes, but it's because I'm out here trying to figure something else out right now. Because I've been really concentrating on the Duck River the last 3 months. I mean, I have Peel and Drag come down. He's my partner for right now, and I'm excited about it. He come down because I wanted him to see the Duck River from the boat view, because he's fished it bank fishing, and man, I'll start racking his brain, start telling him what's in my brain, what's going on, and we can come up with some of the best conclusions. Like we just figured it out. We're smarter than the game wardens. We done figured this out. We're TWRA, but. You know, I have been getting in my boat and going to the Duck River just to ride up it, look at it. You're talking about journals. I take, like, the water is so low right now. If you don't know it, if you don't know the Duck River, you will get killed on it. You know, I want to make that point clear. You will get killed in my area on the Duck River right now if you don't know it. I know it. Ken knows it. He's been up and down it 30 years. But I take pictures. Like if there's a bend in the river, right now it's so low, and there's a healthy tree standing straight up. But I know that when the summertime, when it's the water level is going to be up in summer pool, I take a picture of that root system so that this summer, when I come to that tree, because it's healthy, it's going to withstand it. It's not leaning, it's straight up. I take a picture of that root system because this spring, a flathead's going to be laying under that root system, so I'm going to know how to fish it. You just got to come up with your own thing, and everybody can figure their own thing. I'm almost a terrorist towards the Duck River. You know what I mean? I've got the maps all drawn out, and I've got the time, everything wrote down. It is.
Paula, I can understand completely. I'm talking to Epic Catfish on the phone about the James River. My son the other night has the navionics and stuff, and we're looking for the holes. And I'm trying to figure out. We're both trying to figure out where the current is coming in and where the underwater structure, and it's just a constant learning process, and that's where I think, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong if your idea of fishing and your satisfaction and what makes you happy in fishing is going out and catching a 10-pounder, and that's what that's a monster to you. That's awesome. That's just absolutely amazing. That's your monster. High five. Get excited. If your drive is to catch, a 30 or 40-pounder, that's awesome. But if your drive is to keep going to that next one, that's awesome too. Whatever the level of fish is, I think it's to each one of us, our own excitement level, our own enjoyment, or I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you understand what I'm saying. It's everybody's. If your PB is a 5-pound catfish, a 5-pound blue or channel, and you catch an 8-pounder, get excited. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yes. And of course you have to, in tournaments and stuff, you got to get the weight up, you got to try to go for the big guys. But when you're just fishing, you're not in a tournament, get excited about that 5-pounder, because you caught him the same way you're going to catch that 100-pounder. I'm assuming. Let me just say this. You're going to catch that 5-pounder in the same way you're going to catch that 88-pounder, because he's doing the same thing that the 80's doing, or the 100 or whatnot. You've got to figure out the time of the season, the air temperature, everything plays in, and then sometimes you get out there and think, I have figured this all out and it's not working, so maybe I just ought to come out here and not turn that sonar on, you know what I mean, and just quit trying to figure this out and fish. But you can't do it. You're hooked. You can't do it. You got to figure it out.
Here's one of the questions I saw out there for you. Catfishing with Odad asked, what part of Tennessee are you from?
Some people call it West Tennessee. I call it Middle Tennessee. If you cross the Tennessee River Bridge over here in my county, that goes into West Tennessee. So I'm still on the Middle Tennessee side. But I'm really close to the river. I'm not on the river, but I'm real close to it. The 88 come from right behind the creek. Excuse me. The creek that runs across our farm spills into the bay. You've heard me say I've caught the 88 at the mouth of Big Richland. That's my creek. It runs through my farm. When it drops off that ledge into the Tennessee's where I caught him, and I thought, wow, is that not just crazy? I went around the world to catch a monster, and I caught him in my backyard.
Yeah. Well,
But
I can totally appreciate that, because I got the James River 10 minutes, 15 minutes from my house. So,
Oh, James River's on my list. The James River's on my list. There's so many places that I want to fish, and it's hard to fish a tournament because I don't really like to, and this probably may not make sense to people, but that's the great thing about us, or the catfishing community. We have the right to agree to disagree. We have the respect for each other to agree to disagree. You fish one way, I fish one way. I'm willing to listen to the way you fish and take it or leave it, but I'm not going to bash you for it. But I don't believe in going down to a tournament and pre-fishing, like just catch. Oh, I caught a 105-pound blue cat the day before the tournament. Man, that would, be great. But also it'd be like, man, if I had waited till tomorrow, I'd have won big fish, the boat, and I feel like you're sore lipping them. Go out there and find your places, mark your spots, find your fit. You know what I mean? You don't have to
do research. Yes.
Yeah. Research is so key, in my opinion. It is so key. Just like the journal they were talking about on Catfish Weekly, I started out with a journal, and I love to look back at a year ago today what the conditions was. The water levels, the water color, the 90-mile-an-hour wind.
God bless you though. God bless you though, Paula. You really put your all into making sure that they tried to catch one. There's Chris, Muddy River Catfish. Sometimes you get out there and start second guessing everything you thought you knew about fishing.
Yes. When I took Peeling Drag up the duck, I was talking about the water temperature getting higher on the duck when the cold front, the Tennessee gets colder. I took him to, there's a place on the duck where there's a huge spring, and I wanted to show him what I was talking about. I didn't think he understood what I was saying. So we were in the main channel of the duck, and the duck's not very big. It's about the size of the Cumberland River. We were on the main channel, and at that time it was like the temperature was 46 degrees. And it was still up enough that I could get up in there to where the spring was, which is just, 20, 30 foot over. And it went from 46 degrees to 54 degrees. And he almost like fell down. He said, wow, now I know what you're talking about. So that was great that I passed something along for him to think about and research. There's a difference. And you think a spring is so cold in the summertime. Well, in the wintertime, it's warmer. It stays the same temperature. That's the difference. The spring water stays the same, or the other water goes up and down, up and down. So that's where them fish are going to head in the warmer parts. When you start getting these cold days, they're headed to the warmer water.
You were passing that out to us this past weekend when Stan 3 and I were out in the boat and we had the snow and sleet, and you were asking about springs and stuff. And I don't know if there is. I haven't come across any in the James yet. But that's the stuff that's the level where I'm at now, where that's what we're trying to pick up on is, and I'm talking to anybody that I can, trying to learn those things.
Yeah, and everybody's water systems are different, so you got to figure out Virginia's water systems. Like, you've probably got more mountains. Like if I go in East Tennessee, like to Watts Bar, Fort Loudon, or up in that area, they're in the mountains. They don't get as hot there as we do here. Our 100.
Where we're at in Virginia, we're Central Virginia. It's pretty flat. You get to the western part of Virginia, it's more mountainous and stuff like that. And then as you go,
we have hills. We have hills. Yeah, and then when you cross the Tennessee River and enter to West Tennessee, it's flat, and there ain't a rock over there. It's all mud bottoms, no clear water. You go to this creek back here at my house, and we got like ideal. You couldn't have paid $50,000 for a swimming pool built better than our swimming hole. The water is turquoise, aqua, and you can see all the way down to the bottom, because we don't have the sand and mud, we have rocks. So, you gotta, like if I'm going to a Wheeler in Alabama, I don't go down there with the research that I've done in my area. Before I go down there, I'm researching Wheeler, Alabama, Russellville. You've got to figure out the area, the waterways, the water systems, how close is the dams. I don't have a dam close to me. So if you catch a big fish in my area, you've done something, because, we don't have the dam here. It's just, I don't know, it's just crazy to have gotten to the age that I'm at and finally figure out, if you research this stuff, you might figure something out, might learn something.
Paul, I totally understand exactly what you're saying. I have fished for almost 50 years. I have fished before I can remember fishing, and that trophy or that epic or that huge catfish, we just caught whatever fish. We fought multi-species. We could catch anything that came in the water, but never really focused on catching the biggest of that fish. I think you understand what I'm saying. Now that we're here by the James, we moved down here from upstate New York in 2011, and then we kind of, we fished the James and we did this and that, but it wasn't until recently, basically last spring, 2019, 2020, and Stan 3 is calling me like 10 times a night. I just caught another citation.
Hey, I want you to answer Chris Flores' question, because I have watched lives and thinking, why don't I have a blue wrench? I want a blue wrench.
Okay.
How you get the blue wrench?
I didn't want to cut you off for that, but the reason with that is it depends on the size of the channel. Like, I'm still just a little guy. Like I said, a few months ago, I'm sitting on my couch, and now I'm talking to you and Chris Flores and all these other wonderful people out here. I can't give you a wrench until after this stream is over. I've got to go. I've got to wait till it gets over. I've got to wait till it to post. Same thing with your channel. If you do a live or whatever, you've got to wait for that, for your live to be done with. Then you've got to go back in after it posts to YouTube and then you got to wait for the live chat version of it to come up, to click on that person on your live chat. So now you've got to wait, and then you've got to go back in and watch your whole live over again and watch the live.
I don't need no wrench.
But that's what happens a lot of times. I don't know why YouTube wants to like handcuffs. If channels like ours and a lot of this catfish community that are out there trying to do this kind of thing and want to promote catfishing and want to promote the things, they kind of handcuff us till we get at least 1,000 subs. Once you get 1,000,
now I want to comment on that, because a lot of people say, well, why don't you put this on YouTube? Why aren't you on your? Steve Douglas made the comment on Muddy River's YouTube yesterday. Why ain't Paula on her YouTube? I would love to have billions of followers, but I'm not wanting the billions of followers because I want to get a check every month from YouTube. I just feel like my friends are on Facebook, and it's so much easier just to go live on Facebook. And if it's a great video, I'll transfer it to YouTube, or I just I'm more about the fishing and research, and I love to watch lives. I love to even do lives. I mean, anybody want to talk about catfishing? Hey, I'm game. We were talking a while ago about conservation and how Ken's got my mind just reeling all the time. Not only like when I'm fishing and I think about this arsenic and I'm almost done with this book. I mean, you can see this is all I like. Can y'all see that? This thing's gonna. Yeah. See, I've done that much. I like about 10 more pages, and you know what the name of this book is? field manual of wildlife diseases. So I'm learning what diseases that we can get from the creeks where some kind of something's floating down the creek that you might get if you're in there and you barefooted or drink the creek water or something. I'm going to be a mad scientist before it's over with.
Paula, I'm saying this with the best of heart and the most respect. I think you're already there with a lot of us because
it's crazy.
Yes, there is a lot of us that do that same exact thing as you. Maybe not quite to the extent that you do it, but there is a lot of us that we all want to know more. And, there's a lot of us that just keep wanting to know more and wanting to know more and wanting to know more.
And that is a great thing because, for instance, your son and his kids are watching you want more. So what's that going to teach them? Because they do as they see. Children do as they see.
Yeah. And that's
just like, for instance, Elsa yesterday. I called her Isabel because I felt like I was intruding by calling her dad's, what her dad calls her. So out of respect, I try to call her Isabel. Children tend to become what they see, and even adults, we tend to become what we see or what we're around. So if Elsa was around Chris, who, I've been around, not nearly as much as I'd like to because I'm headed to New Mexico if I have to I ain't gonna hitchhike, but she is right. He's a good person. You can tell. We've got that instinct from a good person to a bad person. Chris is a great person. He has done great things for me, and I am truly forever grateful. It's rubbed off on his daughter and his son. What's his son doing right now? He's selling lead. I mean, how old is his son? You know what I mean? He's already an entrepreneur. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, if we let our grandkids and our kids and our friends' kids or whoever see how passionate we are about reading about the diseases or the waterways. I mean, I got articles. I don't know if you can see over here. I've got a stack full of stuff going on. And if they come in here and they see that, if they just happen to walk by and glance at it, because the other night when I walked through to look up something, I just happened to look over and see another article, and I started reading on it, and it was about arsenic and TVA, and it was like all night long I was going from one thing to another. If my grandkids pick up a little bit of that, they'll be okay.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When I saw, Stand 3 took my granddaughter out, and she caught her 30-pound, her PB of 30 pounds. And when I'm seeing her reel down and pull back, when I'm seeing her fight the fish, like I couldn't have been there to do it any. And and when Stan 3 and I go fishing every weekend, and he's putting baits out and casting the poles and doing things that I couldn't have told him to put it in any better places. He just, he knows it, and he's passed me already, and she's gonna pass him hopefully.
Right. Just like today, Hayden tying his own jig on, he picked that up from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go down there, I didn't squat down and say, you're tying that wrong, but he had a general idea how he needed to do that. So he watched long enough to know that he had to get, the jig head, put the line through it, tie it. Now, he may not have tied it correctly, but his jig didn't come off. And then take his little, what color worm or whatever he was going to use and run it through that hook. He had to pick it up from somewhere. So, if that's the worst thing I teach him, he's got it made.
And my other granddaughter, who's 9, we had her, I think she was 7 or 8, we were down in saltwater, down by Norfolk and down in that area in Virginia, and she's catching redfish. Nobody else is catching anything. And here's my other granddaughter. She's out in the water, sitting in the water, casting and fishing Gulf minnows on a jig head that she picked out all on her own and catching redfish. I mean, it's like you can't feel any prouder. There's nothing. There's nothing on earth that compares.
Absolutely nothing. You are so right. My ultimate, other than breaking the Tennessee record and hopefully the state, the world record or the United States record catfish, my ultimate goal, which is probably within, well, it's probably not because I'll have to save up money to do it. I would love to go be strapped down in a boat where I'm struggling to reel in a marlin or a tuna, that would be because it's going to weigh so much, it's going to fight. That's what I'm after. That, oh my God, if I could, but it costs a lot of money. Maybe I'll win the lottery.
But Paula, I think that's why a lot of us chase that catfish, because for a lot of us, that is for freshwater and for our areas and where we live, that is the best, that's the closest thing that we can, anybody, you can pretty much across the country experience that in your home waters somewhere close.
Right.
Like I said, I'm 10 minutes from, I'm blessed to be that close to James where there's the chance to go out and get. The James has obviously has the capability of putting 100 in. So
I think every waterway has. I truly believe that every water system has the potential for 100 plus. I truly believe that. The 88 that I caught, I just, not at the time, but now I know that the older they get, the bigger they get, which when they get to that size, they've got age on them. Because you were talking about that earlier, how long it takes them to get to be 20 pounds to 30 pounds. When they get to that size, everybody thinks a flathead is territorial. A blue cat, when they get to that size, tend to want to come back to the same area in the wintertime to their winter home.
I've heard that.
Well, now, and before I will say it, I've researched it. I learned that from research. So that way there's no, it's like Ken says, if Ken was to say, Paula, that bird, look at that, he tried to do this to me one time. He said, look at that eagle up there. And I looked up there and I said, well, that's a buzzard. You can't, sometimes you know what I'm saying? You can't, somebody's going to tell you something to be like, oh, that's an eagle? Okay, well, if I got it in front of me and I read it and it's been researched and proven, then I'll say it. I'll repeat it.
Yeah, well, that I've got we're about to hit unbelievable. My mind's blown by it, but we're about to hit 500. We're almost at 500 subs. So even a small,
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't want to say something. If there's something I'm not sure of, I'll say, I'm not exactly sure, but what I've experienced is this works. If it's something that I've researched and I've talked to people like yourself and Epic or Chris or et cetera, then I can confidently say that. You know what I mean? And if I've researched it, then there's nobody that can come back to you and say, well, you said this. Hey, well, I said it because that's what the truth is.
Right, and I appreciate, it's an honor that you rank me in there, because maybe that is the reward I'm getting for the passion I have is working hard to learn what I learn and passing it along.
Yes.
you know, it is, like I said earlier, it's humbling, and I'm very, very grateful that people, you know, do want to ask. I mean, I get messages, and I got one last week about somebody who was coming down to do a tournament this coming weekend on Old Hickory, which is on the other side of Nashville, and wanted to know if I knew anything about the water or any good holes or good spots to fish. And it's on the Cumberland River, and I said, I haven't been there lately, and but I said I'm going to be on the Cumberland River Tuesday, and I'll let you know what the conditions are, so you'll at least have that. I told him what the weather was going to be. You know, they're coming from a different. Right, you know, and at least give them at least at least they'll know what the water temperature's looking like the water's fluctuating, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You know, I mean, I can't send him my map, you know, but I can tell him, you know, this is where you need to look. This is how you should fish the Cumberland. It's a little different than a lot of, you know, there's like the Duck River, for instance. There's one hole between where I launch and to where it dumps into the Tennessee that's maybe 60 foot deep. Otherwise, their average is about 25 to 35, you know, holes. But I know where every one of them are. I know exactly. I could look at a branch and tell you where I'm at on the Duck Rivers. Tennessee's almost the same way. When spawning happens, I'm back on that Tennessee River. And I'm on it in the wintertime too.
Paula, that's what amazes me. People that do their research and that know what they're saying. I'll just give a quick example. We were on the James River, and I'll give a couple examples actually. We were on the James, you know, we fished the James River, but we went further down towards Hopewell and down towards the bigger part of the James River. And just based on camera view, Epic kind of knew where we were at, and Mike Chavez, Catfish, Cooking and Fishing with Mike Chavez. I'm sure you've heard of Mike Chavez.
Oh yeah.
You know, they knew. I mean, when he said, "Oh, you're about on top of that, this part, or you're on top of that hole," and I'm looking around like, are they in the boat over here? They know the river, or they know things so well just from researching that you know, they can see where you're at just by watching a video or pictures. Or it's amazing.
Yeah. Somebody caught a couple of fish here local last week. It was one of them was in the 60s and one of them was in the 50s, and then somebody else messaged me and said, I need to go fishing. Did you see where they caught them fish on the Cumberland River? The Cumberland River's, the bite's hot right now. I said, that wasn't the Cumberland River, it's the Tennessee River. You know, you couldn't see the tree line or nothing, but you could see the water. I could see the width of the water color. I mean, you get so into this that you memorize the watercolor. You know, when you drive across the bridge today, you look down at the watercolor, you know, so you know what the watercolor is. And I wanted to comment, Epic, I mean, like, you want to talk about, when he says something, you better believe it, because he's you know, I look up to what he says. I was listening to him one day, and it was like, man, I would love to get inside his head, you know. Or my comment actually to myself was, man, I'd like to see him and Ken have a conversation, you know, because if I compare it to having a conversation with Ken, that's big.
Well, I can only say on my side, I'm blessed enough. I haven't been able to have a conversation with Ken yet, but I'm blessed enough to have conversation with Epic and Creo and yourself and everybody. Uncle Josh, I love talking to everybody, from the person from their first day of catfishing. You may pick something up that you just, because you know you've done something a certain way for so many years, you don't think about it anymore. Here's a person, it's their first day fishing, they may say something that just, how did I not think of that? You know what I mean? So,
right. They had my answer all along, you know. I mean, and you know, sometimes we do have to take a step back to your basics because we get so ahead of ourselves and so wrapped up that it's like, so take a step back, go back to the basics, just go out there, even if you have to go cut up a cane pole and make your own pole again, go back to the basics, take a break, come back fresh. You'll be ready to start again, and maybe you'll be clear-minded enough that you got your answer. Enjoy everything you do.
Paul, I get one of the, we did, like I said, we just started our channel last October, and we had, there was one, the waters were flooding here. It was high in Virginia and the Richmond and whatnot. And, we tried a couple different spots. We finally made it to spot. We cast out and snagged 3-4 poles right in a row. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Enough of this. I'm going back to and I say basics. I tied a rubber band because I wasn't going to lose any more lead in the river. I tied a rubber band on the bottom, put a rock on it as my weight, had a little just dropper rig up above it. So you're the same rig that everybody is taught catfishing. My stand 3 caught a fresh shad with the gill net. With the cast net. So, you don't get any more basic than fresh cut shad, a rock and a hook, and 20-pound flathead 5 minutes later. So that that just tells you sometimes you just
you gotta take a break.
Just go back to basic, go back to simple. There was no rattles, there was nothing. It was just.
Let me ask you this. In your opinion, what do you think about the rattles and so forth? Now, I'm going to tell you my opinion. I think a lot of it is confidence. It's a security, a confidence. Because if you think about it, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there wasn't rattles. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying that, just like I'm more confident putting my drain in my boat than not putting it in there. It's I'm not knocking anything. I really ain't. It's just the confidence, some of it.
I think, yes, I totally agree. And I've said that multiple times on our Sunday lives that, that's what time on the water does for you. That's why that's the best learning experience. That's why that's the best. You get some knowledge from talking like what we're doing right now and talking to Epic and talking to Ken and anybody. You take that, and then when you get out on the water, your time on the water, what that does is it takes the information you have and builds your confidence in the information that you have. That's why I was laughing when you kind of said that confidence thing, because the more that I talk to people that are that I kind of look up to and have a lot of respect for, they are saying the same things that I think. So
it's like, wow.
Yeah, I've been saying the right things. Oh my God, it's really humbling, and it's really I can't think of the words of it for it, but but yeah, I think that time on the water, giving confidence. As far as the rattles and stuff go, I think that there is times, especially in the right conditions, with the right current and things like that, that they absolutely help attract fish to that bait. I don't think it detracts fish from it, so it can't. I don't think it can hurt to use it. I think that there is times where it does help, and if it builds your confidence that you think you're going to catch more fish with it, because you will catch more fish with it, because you think you will catch more. That's just my opinion.
Right. I did I put an article out, research. A catfish, they can see, but they don't go by sight to the predator as being the predator. They go by smell, their senses. Their senses is like a tongue. It's like they're an outside tongue. So their senses take them to that bait, to that smell, to that whatever. I guess I said that because you don't have to have $100,000 boat. You don't have to have all these big fancy whatever. If you have it, great. If you don't, there's a way to do it.
Yep.
You know, I can go right down here to my creek and I can cut a cane. It's growing down there. I can cut it and I can make a fishing pole. Will it hold a 100-pounder? No, but it'll get me started.
Yep. Yep. I agree completely. We use a lot of the rods we use are and it's kind of like that's what my father loved was ugly sticks. So we use a lot of ugly sticks. Would I love to use a Chris Flores Muddy River? Oh, you bet your butt I would love to have a. Is it needed?
Well,
no.
they're great rods.
You know, they're awesome rods. Everybody, there's one thing you will never, I have not yet to see somebody that had a negative comment about a Muddy River rod or the customer service that he has, the attention that he puts into packing the rods. I've not seen one. Like I said, I'm newer at this. We've only been doing it since October, but I've never seen not one negative comment about from the rod itself all the way to him shipping the rod and the customer service afterwards. I've not seen one negative comment about him yet.
I'm going to tell you a story about Chris. We went to the first catfish conference that I went to. My husband said, Ken said, "Oh, go over and get a picture with Chris Flores." Like, who's Chris Flores? You know, and you know, it's like, okay, and I get my picture of Chris Flores, and I kind of looked at his rods. You know, Ken already knew. Of course, Ken already knows everything. But and when I do stuff like that, I'm just joking around. But Mr. Ken knowed everything. So we get home, and I think, I don't know if people know this, but I'm so independent that I buy what if I want it, I'm buying it. Nobody's buying it for me because I'm going to appreciate it more. That's just the way I was raised. I pay for my truck. I pay for my boat. You know, that's why I didn't go out to eat tonight, because I got stuff I got to take care of. You know, that's just the way I was raised. So I saved up enough money, and I thought, I'm going to order 4 Muddy River catfishing rods. You know, I was so excited. So I ordered them and got them, and Chris called me and said, how many rods would it take to, you know, and I was real naive, you know. Of course, like I said, what comes in here comes straight out here. And he said, how many rods would it take to make your boat completely Muddy River catfishing rods? I said, look, I got 12 rod holders, and you're going to have to hold your horses because I'm poor. I got to buy a few here and a few there. And he said, no, said, I'm going to send them to you because I want to sponsor you. And it was like, what? You know, that blew my mind. And you can just see it on my face. It's the best feeling in the world for somebody to have noticed what you have done, and you feel like you've not really done anything. You know, it's like one of the best of the best has noticed something I did. You know, yesterday when Elsa went live. And I may be saying it wrong. Ken said, you're saying that wrong. I said, well, I'm saying it the way I want to, so that's just the way it's said. But Michael Murillo said to her, you're fishing with a legend. And, of course, I said, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm just a regular person, you know. I'm not too big for anybody. I'm just as good as any, you know. But when I got home, I was thinking, Michael Murillo said I was a legend. He's the legend, you know, and he thinks I'm a legend. You know, that has been worth every bit of this. That alone has been worth every bit of this. Not the boats or the $50,000 tournaments, because they stress me out. It's the respect that you are given. You know. It's like, wow.
But I want to include that, Paula. It's deserved respect. You know,
Thank you.
You put your time in. You do the research that's necessary. You try to pass that on. Your excitement for catfishing and trying to pass that on to us. That's it's commendable. It's awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank you, because that just makes it really makes me happy.
And
just like when we were.
I'm gonna say Chris is one of those ones out there too. Like, he started out how many years ago, and he's doing the chicken liver and the chicken chum bait and the how to make a live well on your porch out of an old freezer, and he's doing his job, and he's coming home after that and going right out and putting the time in to try to teach and help people learn to maybe how to catch a couple of catfish more, or to show somebody that if he can go out there after doing that after a 10 or 12 or 14-hour day, that they can go out there and do that too. So
it's the fishing. It's the learning from backing the trailer up to pulling it on the highway to just like yesterday during that when that barge come by. We already had the white capping going on with the brutal wind, and then when that barge come by, and I'm not exaggerating, the waves were. It was unreal, and I knew when I seen him coming, it made me feel, I don't want to say proud, because and maybe I don't know what word I need to use, but it made me feel good that I knew to, for instance, prior to that, the current was going this way and the wind was coming the other way. And when we anchored down, I said, now guys, I was like, I'm acting like I'm on some kind of teaching trip. I said, guys, when we anchor, always look over to the bank and get you a point that you're at, like an old log or rock, something that that's where you're at. And if you look over and you don't see that rock no more, your anchor ain't working, or something's wrong, something's going wrong. And when I seen that barge coming, I thought, man, he's loaded. He is loaded. When they're sticking out about 6 inches, they're loaded. And this river is not wide. And I thought, these waves are just going to bounce back and forth. I'm going to have to pull. And of course, I didn't expect them to pull anchor or anything like that. I did ask them, I said, will y'all reel them in while I pull anchor? Well, the anchor got hung. It was hung bad. So I had to tie it back to the boat, start it up and pull it, get loose before this barge gets to us, I'm the captain of that boat. They're my responsibility. So you better know what you're doing. And I knew I had to get that boat free so I could get it somewhere it needed to be during them waves. And I'm glad I did, because if we had took them nose first, it'd not been good.
Sure, yeah. We have some spots in the James that are, the James is a big, wide open river in some spots, and in some spots it's a narrower, small river where you got a barge going by you. You're not used to it. You got to know what you're doing. And I'm one. Some people may disagree with this wholeheartedly. I believe there should be a boat driver's license, just like for a car. You should have to pass a test, and not just a written test. There's so many safety aspects of putting people out on the water with you, that if everybody had an actual boat driver's license, I know people are going to disagree with it, but you've got the same amount. I'd say it's actually, I think it's probably even more dangerous, because you're talking about, you're in the rivers, you got barges, you got other boats, you got people swimming, you got other people fishing, you got rowboats, kayaks, canoes, you got logs coming down, trees coming down the river. There's a lot of safety aspects that people just don't think about.
No, I agree with you 900,000%, because Ken being a game warden, I have even went out one instance, his boat was locked up at the warehouse across the river in Benton County. So his personal boat was here, and the police called and said they had a vehicle go into the river, and they knew he had on his personal boat, that he told me, he said, I don't have my state boat here, but my bass boat is here and I've got sonar on it. Well, because it was his personal boat, I got to go with him, If it had been a state boat, I couldn't go. So we got on, it was nighttime, the police got on the boat with us, and we go out here to find this vehicle because there's a person missing. And we take that sonar and we find that vehicle, and I'm like, oh, I should have been a cop, this was fun, but it was boaters' safety. Like, I didn't have to have a class because I wasn't born, I was born way long ago, and my son barely skidded by that, but he kept wanting to take the bass boat, and Ken told him, said, you can take it anytime you want to, but I want you to take the boating class. Yep. He didn't have to, but he did. I've never had it. I've never had it. I was taught by TWRA. So,
But I did. I took it even though I didn't have to. My wife has the thing. My son has the thing. I think anybody that comes out in the boat with you, the first thing you should do when you bring them out is give them a basic. You never know what's going to happen. They should have an understanding of how to drive the boat. God forbid something happens to bring it back to the boat ramp, or at least to shore, to safety. They should at least know the basic safety requirements.
And just like if I was to get pulled over or stopped, you don't get pulled over, you get stopped by the TWRA, and they said, okay, well, we need to see the registration and your life jackets and your fire extinguisher, check to see if it's up to date. Do I know where my fire extinguisher is? Yes. Do I know where the registration is? Yes. Because I was fortunate enough that, and it might be fortunate in some ways and unfortunate in some other ways, that I was married to a TWRA officer. But you need to know this stuff because there's so many things that could go wrong quick because water is unforgiving.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm kind of where we used to live up in upstate New York on a lake in the mountains. And we wouldn't even let younger children out on the dock unless they had to have a vest on. That's even from the bank. And I think the same thing for, bank fishermen. Be very careful. People think you're on the bank. It's just, well, you never know. You could slip down. You could hit your head, and you're in. You go into a current. You always want to think, even from the bank, you got to think about water safety.
I had to go through that today when I carried the boys out there. Now, I did not make them wear a safety life jacket. We were around some rocks. Hayden knows how to swim without one. If he fell in the water, would he panic? Yes, I know that. Because I know him. Jace, he can swim. He's not scared of the water with a life jacket. But before we got there, probably about 10,000 times, I said, boys, it's going to be cold if you fall in that water and that managed to get out by the grace of God, you're going to freeze to death. If you do fall in that water, I'm not coming in after you because Nana can't stand cold water. So you're just going to wash on out the cold water and be gone. And they knew, I wasn't serious, but I made them think I was serious.
Yeah. Hey, but
now I did keep Jace, the youngest one, closest to me, and then Hayden.
This is the key that I'm learning. You made them think. You made them think about water safety. You made them think, oh my gosh, if I fall in, what
it's taken.
That is, the older I'm getting, the more that I'm learning. It's more about just, you don't. You can give out some information and make people think, that is one of the most important things you can do. Is just it's not necessarily information that you're given. It's making other people think about the information that you're
Yeah,
given.
because Hayden, the oldest grandson, said, I said, you see that current out, I told him right off the bat, you see that current out there? It will suck you away from me, and I can't get to you, so there ain't no point in trying. Later on during the day, he said, Nana, if I fell in, would that current really take me away? I said, you better believe it will, and there's no way Nana could get to you fast enough. I said, I'd jump in, and there's no way I could catch you. So
there's a comment out there. Ricky Gloria said, I hit a whirlpool once in my boat and like to throw everyone out of the boat, turned my boat around 180 degrees. It was surely a scary moment. Yeah, I mean, you're in the water. You ever want to go to a river that's flooded? If you want to earn respect for water, go to a river that's flooded and look what it did. The James River this past year, I think it was November-ish, somewhere in there. It was the highest level it had been since the 90s. And we lost bank spots. The banks totally changed. The structure underneath the water totally changed. Things that had been there for the past however many years, it totally changed because there was literally trees. I mean, it just retransformed the entire section of the river that so if you want to understand the power of water and the power, just go to a river that's flooded and look at what it does. It's crazy.
Every year I expect in my area, I expect the river system to change every year. Every flood, it's going to change. It's going to wash out your old log jams. It's going to put new logs in places you didn't think was there before. Do you remember the 2010 flood that Tennessee had?
Let's see. Was that with the hurricanes?
We got, in this county, we got 26 inches in one day. I mean, the Cumberland River, I mean, it was all downtown Clarksville, Nashville. It just washed it away. I was working in Nashville, and I was stranded for 40 hours.
They basically closed down the highways and even I-95 couldn't go up and yes.
Never in my wildest dreams, because I could see the interstate going eastbound, westbound. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would not look across the interstate and it be underwater. They said it's 100-year flood. Nah, it's going. It could happen any year, any given year, because our climate is changing, and it could happen at any time. My 5-year-old grandson don't even know what snow is. Now that tells you something. Our climate is changing. When it floods, it's a given, or you better make it a given, that the water changed, the system changed, the hose, the banks. So you need to take that into consideration. You also need to take, if it's flooding, is it really worth your life to go out there? I mean, I'm addicted. You can see that I love what I'm doing, but there's a line, because I love me and I don't want to go right now. You have to not be knowledgeable about the boats, how to drive it, the water, how to treat it, and that's with the utmost respect. With fishing, how to do it. Anything you do, you get in your vehicle, you better know how to drive it.
Exactly.
You got these kids growing up, and just like when my son was growing up, it's like, oh, he's got his driver's license. Dear God, please don't let him start drinking and driving, or don't let him drive 75 because he doesn't know how to handle it yet. Let him get some. So anything you do, treat it with the utmost respect because it can take you at any time.
Paula, we've been on here a little bit. You got any, anybody have any questions out there they'd like to ask either one of us? It's been awesome, by the way, Paula, talking with you. I really appreciate
Yes, it has.
It's this whole catfish, I say family because it's more than a community because there's so many of us that are just like-minded with everything.
And we all have respect for each other. I love it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like I said, man, woman, younger, older. It's just the family is just awesome. It's just unbelievable. And then to have I know we didn't talk a lot about catfishing per se, but we talked a lot about catfish and safety and
conservation, safety. We covered a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it's funny because a lot of the things that are your top, priorities to yourself. I feel the same way about a lot of those. So it's
I could see that when you said, talking about them grandkids. We know that feeling, don't we? that pride for them grandkids.
Yeah. I would rather have my granddaughter. I'd rather have my son. My son stand through. I'd rather have either one of them catch the 100-pounder. And this may be where I'm a little different. I'd rather have any of them catch the 100 than Now, if I happen to catch 100, I'm not going to complain. You know what I mean?
My son he don't care anything about catfishing. He bass fishes. He is about his archery hunting that I am about the catfishing. But that's why I want to take the boys on a few tournaments this year because I want to. Now I don't want to see them catch a fish that's going to pull them out of the boat or nothing, but I do want to see them catch, that 20, 30 pound. And if I have to help them, I'll help them. But it's still going to be their fish. They're going to.
I'm going to be honest. That's kind of what's got me a little worried about my granddaughters out there because you get much above 30, that fish is pulling, and they're they're 9 and 11. So
yeah. So we need to definitely be there with them, because just even today alone, walking across the walkway. I made Hayden walk in front of me, and I held Jace's hand. I mean, common sense tells you what to do.
Yeah.
So carry your common sense in your pocket all the time.
And I'm glad that you said that. It's not only common sense with just like you said, like holding your grandchild's hand to get them across the thing, but if we all had just common sense out fishing, in the boat with boat safety, just trying to think of fishing in itself, everything. It's amazing how much, like I said, I'm in my 50s, and to see how the common sense has not been preached as much as it used to be. Like when I was a kid, that was what you were taught, was common sense, and you're not. A lot of people aren't taught that anymore. So,
and if we don't start getting back to some of the basics and a lot of things, our grandchildren are going to have a very, very, very hard life. And I don't want them to have it made. Don't get me wrong. I don't want my grandchildren to have it made. When they come over here in the summertime and I head down to the garden because it's time to pick cucumbers and make pickles, they down there picking cucumbers to put in the bucket. We'll pull the little red wagon down there and drag them back up to the house. They're going to know what hard work is. Now, I do spoil them, but they are going to know what hard work, respect, manners, because we don't, if we don't get a grip on this, we're going to have some wild people in this world. There ain't going to be nobody who wants to fish. They're going to be playing games or there's God knows what kind of drugs, and so if they had rather go fishing, or they, and I'm going to tell you, one of the comments they made today is I got the best Nana in the world. That's what I want to hear. I want to go to Nana's and go fishing instead of go to, can we go by McDonald's? Tomorrow we're going back and we're packing a bologna sandwich.
Right.
They need to know what a bologna sandwich is instead of McDonald's. So.
Okay, I had asked if anybody had any questions out there. I'll read it to you, Paula. Epic Catfish said he had a question. He just saw the Cumberland close to where it dumps into the Ohio. Looks like an awesome big flathead zone. I'm sure timing is important, but do you fish that stretch where the Cumberland dumps into the Ohio?
I fished the Cumberland. It's got both fish, and in fact, the Cumberland holds the state record for the blue catfish, which is like mind blowing, because the Cumberland River is an excellent flathead river. I'll tell you somebody to watch. I don't know if you got a pen or nothing. Watch a guy named Richard Skull. He lives on the Cumberland, born and raised. Flathead catcher. He can wear the flathead out. The Cumberland River is more famous, from my point of view, for flathead than blue. The Duck River, it holds either or. The area he's talking about, I fished it. I don't fish the Cumberland. Now this year I have been fishing the Cumberland more because my area is a little dead right now. I do like fishing the Cumberland, other than the fact that it's very narrow, and like I said about the barges, especially at night, they have a lot of accidents on the Cumberland with barges. Now you can get out here where the Tennessee Kentucky Lake area is, and the main channel of the Tennessee River is wide enough in itself, but then you got the Kentucky Lake area that's on past the buoys, so you can get away from that barge. But yeah, Epic, if you ever got the opportunity, that'd be an excellent place for you, as a new place. And I love to go to new places and try to figure them out. That'd be the place to do it, because the Cumberland River, I wouldn't doubt the Cumberland River hold at least the Tennessee state record. Would not doubt it.
Well, and I think that when you get river systems that dump into other river systems, you can see what a little creek coming into a river can do. When you get a whole system coming into another system, to me, that's just like, I'm checking that out. I'm looking for what's happening there. That's gonna have to be a hot spot to look at least.
The only thing that on the Cumberland that we seen yesterday, the only activity we got was at a mouth of a creek where Elsie did her live. That's the only activity that we got.
Yeah, I was trying to look up here to see if there was any other questions out there, and I don't want to do too much because I think you're supposed to be a guest on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I'm the co-host on that show also, so I'll be speaking with you again Saturday night, which is I'm totally stoked about, because I could, apparently I like to talk a lot. And when you talk about fishing and things like that and the outdoors, and I could talk 24/7 and not even realize it, because we've been.
Yeah, I bet when we get off. When we get off this live, I guarantee you're going to start researching something, aren't you? I hope you are.
I'm going to start researching. I'm going to write down, there was probably something that I forgot to ask Paula about. Then I'll go back tomorrow when the thing posts up with when the video posts up tomorrow with the live chat, because I know that when I start talking to people, like I was talking to Creo before, and he's a good friend of mine. I haven't met him yet, but I was born in Louisiana, so we have a you know, so, and I don't want to say it like as a negative thing towards chat, because most of the time in most other shows I am out in the chat. But when I talk to my friends or people like that, it's like once I start talking, I don't read as much. So I tend to not read. It's a hard time following chat. So what I always do is go back in the day after and go down the chat and try to see, because I know I miss things, and that'll just make me think about something else. And so I'm sure there'll be things on Saturday night that that I missed tonight.
To me, one of the when you're watching the chat, you know, you say, hey, like I always come on and say, hey, everybody, and then want to say hi, Paula, and then you're trying to say hi to them, and then you have to scroll back up because you've missed 10 more that said hi to you, and you're just like, oh man, I'm behind, and that's what I love, because you get on there and it's people that you haven't met in person, but you've talked to them, you've commented on their comments on social media. It's like a family, and when they say hi to you, they really mean to say hi to you.
Yeah,
you know,
you and we're on the screen face to face, but it'd be the same thing. I mean, if I saw you in person, I would grab your hand, give you a hug. You know, that's just that's my kind of personality. But it's the similar thing. And when you're doing text, you're right. You do mean it in the same way as if you were meeting in person. And for me, being old school, that's a hard thing. Like I always used to put down those people with Facebook friends, and I never understood it. I didn't have Facebook until we started doing YouTube.
Really?
You know, yeah.
I've been on Facebook for a minute, not because I want to be on social media, but it was the only way that I could connect to like people that I grew up with. I wanted to find them and see where are they at in life and how are they and so forth. And then I would post a picture of a fish, or I'm going fishing, and I posted a picture of my 82-pound catfish a couple months before I got the 88. You know, nobody even noticed it, and the 88 just blew up. And but I do it all again tomorrow.
Brother, I had put your link in the description, and hopefully some people sub you. I think if there's a way, I don't know about the technology part of it, but the things that you put to Facebook Live, if they could somehow transfer to YouTube, there's a bunch of people that would listen to what you're saying. I know it's hard. It's hard for you to understand that and believe it, but there is a bunch of us that would listen to Paula Smith.
I've been told that by several people and several of my heroes. This is, I don't think you really realize how many people follow you, and I guess it is mind-boggling, but I'm sincere in everything I say. I'm sincere in it. I'm going to try. I'm going to promise you, I will try to start doing better with my YouTube. It's just like in my area, you can't hardly have service in a lot of places. So you know, and then if I catch a fish, I won't post it on Facebook because I want all my friends to see my fish.
But I'm with you. Like we do, we've done it since October, and I think we've only done 3 videos. The rest have all been live, where I just got the camera up there and it's going. I don't got to worry about, you know, all I got to do is talk to all my friends out there for the 3, 4, 5, 6 hours that we're out fishing. So we catch every fish, you know, it's on camera.
See, that's where it runs into, and you can ask Steve Douglas if you ever talk to him. The first time I got on the boat with him, I don't want to take my eyes off my poles. It's hard, you know, and when I was on Steve's boat, you know, I was just talking up a storm, but I was constantly, you know, I wasn't paying attention. He could have been picking his nose, you know, I wouldn't have known it because I was watching my pose and carrying on that conversation. So it's hard to do a YouTube video because you want it to be good naturally, and you don't, because I know y'all don't want to be talking to the back of my head, you know, because I'm going to be watching my pose. So I'm gonna try to do better and do a little, you know, start getting more into the YouTube.
That's where that's where I'm blessed to have Stan 3 with me, because you know I kind of by the time we get out to the fishing spot, if we're from the bank, I gotta sit in the chair. I've got real bad back issues and things like that. So I'm kind of following the chat, and I'm kind of watching over the back of my head the polls and where he's setting stuff up.
Yeah, you can see the pose when you're doing your live. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that he is nonstop. He would not miss. He's on that, you know, 24/7. If that pole goes this far, he sees it.
You see it. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's something I know exactly what you're talking about. And I also feel like, I'm not doing a YouTube like that because people are not going to take me serious, or I don't, you know, I sound stupid. I'm so country, you know. I guess it's a little complex thing. I don't know.
I totally, like I said, you've heard me say it tonight even, you know, end of last year, I'm sitting on my couch and now I've got, you know, I'll have 100 people out watching me fish.
Yeah.
You know, it's, we've had, the one time we had, I think we were up to 5 different continents, people on 5 different continents watching us fish.
Wow. That's great.
I've got 400 subs. You know what I mean? It's like, you talk about, you know,
I don't even know if I've hit 300 yet. I put time into other stuff, and I need to learn how to, I guess, multitask. You know, I'm so full of life, it's unreal. So I'm do 10,000 things at one time, but that one thing is, you know, kind of set to the side. I promise I'm gonna do better.
Well, you do great. I just think if some of those things from Facebook came over to YouTube, you'll be busting a few thousand people watching you. You'd be surprised.
That would be awesome.
So y'all, I put Paula's link out in the description. So if anybody that was in here that hadn't subbed to Paula yet, I'm sure a lot of us are, but you can hit that there. She'll be again our guest on the Fishing Shack this Saturday night with Norm and I at 8 o'clock on Catfish Head Hunters channel. You know, if y'all think of any other questions that you want to come up with, Paul be the answer. If she can't, I'll try. And between the 3 of us, we might come up with a place to at least look for the right answer.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody being out there. Thank you all so very much for coming in.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, it was
Stan,
great
thank
night.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
Paula, hang on one second. I'm just gonna. Oh, there's that. Chris just said it best right there.
Chris, thank you so much. That like makes it worth it. But, you know, I mean, it is so humbling for Chris Flores. Like, I'm the best. What?
Well, and for me, it's just humbling having him in here watching, and he's been in quite a few of the lives, and that's one great thing about Chris is he doesn't have to come into any of us, you know.
Exactly.
Smaller channels, you know, and again, I'm not trying to put the people that are in all the time. Everybody is just as important. You've said it there too, but you know, when people have, Chris has like pretty much dedicated his life to promoting catfishing and the same type of thing we're sitting here talking about, and for him to come into the lives and just give a little bit of encouragement and say you're doing good, or just talking to people, it means an awful lot to a lot of people. So, Chris.
Oh yeah, I mean that just, you know, it's like I said earlier, you know, when somebody says, told Elsa yesterday, you're fishing with a legend. Michael Murillo thinks I'm a legend. Michael's the legend, you know, and he thinks it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's very,
Michael Murillo is texted. I'm like, yeah, it's like, what? Yeah. Tonight is one
and
of those.
it makes you feel like that you have accomplished, you know, I made it, you know, I made it, you know, and it's just, it's the best thing I've experienced other than family.
Paul, I can even tell you just tonight, you know, you had some situations going on and some people coming in, and you know, you were you weren't able to come right in right away, but there was I think we were up to like 60 or 70 people waiting for you to come in. We're talking with, you know, and I'm talking with Creo, and people are in chat and listening, and you know, so that just goes to show right there how much people will want to hear what you have to say. So it's thank you so much.
And I truly, truly appreciate it.
So stay right there. I'm going to say good night to everybody else. Y'all have a great night. Thank you again. I can't tell you how much you all mean to me. You know, I get a tear in my eye sometimes. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate what y'all mean to me. Thank you for all the support. You have no idea what you do for me. All right. So we'll talk to y'all very soon. Thank you.